It's Wednesday, July 15th. Today, 42-year-old man fatally shot. What we know about the circumstances leading up to a critical incident in Linden Woods. Also today, heaving under the heat. Winnipeg drivers encounter a new obstacle literally popping up across the city: buckled roads. Plus, get ready for the Northern Super League. How soon until Winnipeg's own pro women's soccer team hits the pitch? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. We're halfway through the month as well of July, which is so hard to believe. The kids have been off school already for 2 weeks, and summer is almost halfway over.
Rochelle.
I know, I don't even want to say it. But you know what? A sure side of summer is when you can go outside and do some berry picking. And Ainsley and Kenny are in LaSalle this morning picking at the berry farm there. So we're going to find out a little bit more about how the season has been with the cooler start and, of course, those hot temperatures that we've been seeing. But speaking of hot, it wasn't too bad yesterday.
No, we really felt that notable shift in the humidity. I was really enjoying it personally because the weekend and even on Monday, not fun with that extreme heat. Today, we're starting off on a decent note, if not pretty cloudy. 21 degrees, slight humidex there. Overcast as mentioned, winds out of the east-northeast at 10 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressures on the rise, humidity sitting at 65%. So you can probably see why we're starting to cloud over. This very large, very pronounced system moving in from the west on the radar there. You can see scattered showers, thunderstorm activity as well, likely to mostly impact the southwest today in and around Brandon, though we also have a slight chance of it throughout the day, but it intensifies overnight. Details on that in a moment, but we still do have heat warnings in effect for areas in central Manitoba, as well as smoke warnings, or air quality warnings, excuse me, for in and around the Paw area due to those wildfires still burning, causing those very smoky conditions. In terms of the system, our futurecast will give us an idea on how it should shape out. So you start to see it really early this morning around the southwest, as mentioned. As the day progresses, it does start to push more into the Red River Valley. So we have a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms in Winnipeg, 60% chance in Brandon and Neepawa, Dauphin also at 30. Meanwhile, the north, clear, sunny, beautiful for you, but of course that smoke, which doesn't register on our futurecast. From there, the system looks to sort of lose a little bit of gusto, but then overnight intensifies once again, and that's when we get likely rain, thunderstorm activity lasting into tomorrow. Alongside this system, we're also dealing with some cooler temperatures. A far cry from the weekend, 25 degrees today, slightly below seasonal, and we fall even more into tomorrow, but we're rebounding nicely by Friday.
Thank you, Catherine. The extreme heat this week is causing several streets and highways to buckle or blow up in the shape of a triangle. The city says emergency maintenance crews are scrambling to keep up. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel.
Roads in Manitoba are buckling under the pressure.
It's crazy. Like, seriously crazy. It's crazy.
I don't know. I guess our roads aren't built for this kind of heat.
On Monday, this section of Silver Avenue near Century heaved up like a triangle amid the current heat wave. Crews spent Tuesday fixing the problem. Sidewalks around the city are also impacted.
It's been increasing as we're seeing more and more prolonged heat periods in the summer.
And maybe the most dramatic incident, this transit bus in Waverly West got hung up on a speed hump that buckled. Crews had to rip out a large section of the traffic calming device as they made repairs. The city says emergency maintenance crews could not keep up Monday with the demand from heat-buckled roadways and sidewalks, and they continue to respond. They say the south end of the city seems to have been hit the hardest.
It's a pretty simple repair. It's just a very sudden and unsafe condition.
Outside of the city is not immune. The province says several highways experienced concrete buckling and blow-ups, including the number 1, 75, 59 South, 7, 8, 30, and the West Perimeter, which was closed for a time Monday morning because of heaving.
With no rain and with excessive heat, day and night are a major contributing factor.
Ahmed Shalabi, a professor of civil engineering, says the concrete slabs and roadways have joints, which allow them to expand and contract depending on the temperature. But he says sometimes the joints are filled with sand or other debris, so when they try to expand again in the heat, there is no place to go but up.
maybe becoming slightly more frequent with kind of excessive temperatures we are getting, excessive heat. So we're concerned about the future, really.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The extreme heat in eastern Canada helped produce a number of storms yesterday, including one in Quebec that turned daylight into darkness.
Toutes les lumières de nuit sont allumées.
This is what it looked like mid-morning yesterday in La Tuque, Quebec, east of Montreal. The sudden darkness triggered city lights to switch on. This was all because of a storm that swept through the area, blanketing the region with thick haze from wildfires burning in the north. That same plume of smoke hung over Montreal, creating an eerie, dull yellow haze.
Whoa. What a...
Lightning lit up the sky several times in Montreal as the storm passed through. Rain poured down in Ottawa under a blanket of heat, humidity, and smoke. Ottawa has been under a heat warning since Monday, and today is expected to mark the peak of this heat event. Temps could reach 38 degrees Celsius and feel closer to 45. Dozens of WestJet flight attendants in Winnipeg took part in a day of action Tuesday as members vote on a possible strike. Around a third of the flight attendants that make up the Winnipeg base lined up outside Winnipeg Richardson International Airport. The airline's 4,400 flight attendants could walk off the job or be locked out as early as August 2nd. Talks between their union and WestJet have been ongoing for more than 10 months. The biggest sticking point in negotiations is pay.
A lot of people don't understand that, we are required to show up an hour before the flight leaves. We're doing security checks, we're doing pre-flight briefings, we're doing catering checks.
And the union says that work before the cabin door closes averages 35 unpaid hours every month. Members are voting on a strike mandate today and tomorrow. Talks continue between WestJet and the union now through Friday. More positive news from Manitoba's second largest city. Officials in Brandon say high water levels on the Assiniboine River have started to decline. The city says the river retreated by about 8 centimeters overnight from Monday into Tuesday, but still has a ways to go. Levels climbed just over 2 meters in less than a week and peaked Sunday night. The city says its reinforced flood barriers are working to limit any damage. A summer staple is pirouetting back into Assiniboine Park. The Royal Winnipeg Ballet returns to the Lyric Theatre for Ballet in the Park July 28th to the 30th. You can experience the dancers' technical mastery while also getting a sneak peek at the first season to be fully programmed by artistic director Christopher Stowell. The event is free and no tickets are required. However, you might want to bring a lawn chair, blanket, or your dancing shoes. A pre-show program begins at 6 o'clock with the main performance happening at 7. Winnipeg soccer fans are getting a pro team to cheer for. The Northern Super League is announcing its 7th franchise will call Our City Home. The club's name and crest have not yet been officially announced, but we do know the team will be gearing up for game day in 2027. 2 Winnipeg soccer stars are behind the league's first expansion. One of them is Olympic gold medalist and former Team Canada star Desiree Scott. She's being named as Vice President of Community and Player Experience.
Bringing a professional team to Winnipeg, as I mentioned, has been a lifelong dream of mine. It's honestly surreal to stand here today and finally bring this opportunity to the city that deserves it. We finally have a pathway from grassroots soccer all the way to the professional game. Young athletes across Manitoba can dream big because they can finally see what's possible right here at home.
The other co-founder, Rob Gale, will be the club's chief sporting officer. He's a youth national team coach and most recently was the head coach of the Portland Thorns. Earlier this summer, Mayor Scott Gillingham told reporters the franchise was eyeing Ralph Cantafio's soccer complex on Waverly Street as its home venue. However, the club says its venue will be announced at a later date. It's never too late to start something new.
Oldest, it could be around 80, I'm not sure, but the youngest is 50. I myself am 76 years old.
These women in Kenya started playing soccer to get their bodies moving. They call themselves the Soccer Grannies. Organizers say many are feeling healthier and, of course, are having more fun. They train twice a week and say it's helping them stay active and creating lasting friendships. Here's a look now at what's happening on Confusion Corner. Looks like things are starting off pretty smoothly this morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley, who is live in my hometown of LaSalle. Good morning, Ainsley.
I love everything about this town, Rochelle,
Yes.
except the mosquitoes at this hour. That's the only thing. And I don't know how much the camera can pick up, but boy, Kenny's been dodging them all morning. We are here with the Prairie Fruit Growers Association alongside Cormier's Berry Patch. And this is the new one because they plant new every year. This is the newest, and I recommend you go to people's Facebook pages if you want to know the latest, because people come, the window is so short, and they're picked quite quickly. We're going to be learning not just about strawberries, but about raspberries, hascaps, and we're going to have those local farmers coming to the berry patch here. There's not just, of course, this one. It's all over Manitoba, whether you go to the White Shell, whether you go to Stonewall, whether you go all over. Go to a link on our website for more details. And I already found one here, but I'm not going to eat it because it was just on the ground.
Oh,
I'll have to do some picking.
That's where you should eat it from. It's so clean there. All right, thank you, Ainsley.
Oh, yeah?
Let's go out to the rooftop. You could actually see those mosquitoes in the shots there, Catherine.
You know what? There's something about me mosquitoes don't come near. I don't want to brag. I think it's kind of a diss. Like, ugh, that doesn't look good to me. But yes, I'm not seeing too many out here. But of course, with all that moisture we had earlier this month, that standing water, that is breeding ground for our mosquitoes. And I've heard anecdotally from people that they obviously want to munch on more than me that, yeah, the mosquitoes have been quite bad. Not quite bad today is our lovely start to the day, 22 degrees. That humidex very slight. It's pretty overcast though, a marked change from yesterday. Winds also light out of the east-southeast, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 52%. So you can sense a shift. We had a cold front move in yesterday, bringing in some below seasonal temperatures that begin today. A marked change from that extreme humidity. Yesterday was still a hot one, but today we're really feeling it settle in. Also, we're tracking a system that is bringing already rainfall to Brandon. It's looking to hover really in and around Brandon and Neepawa today. 30% chance of us getting it here in the Red River Valley, but overnight that risk intensifies. Rain, thunderstorms likely. Backtracking to today, though, I didn't talk about our temperatures. We're getting up to highs in the south of the mid-20s, below seasonal for us in Winnipeg. That's 25. Hotter and sunny in the north with highs in the upper 20s to low 30s.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Manitoba's police watchdog is being called in after Winnipeg police fatally shot a man in Linden Woods. Police say the shooting happened around 10:30 p.m. Monday, but the initial call for help actually came in roughly 2 hours earlier.
The caller reported that he'd been locked out of his residence by his brother, who was behaving erratically and threatening to damage property. At approximately 9:58 p.m., a little more than an hour later, the caller contacted police a second time, advising that he remained locked out of the residence and that his brother was now screaming at him through a window.
About an hour after that second call, police say 2 officers arrived in a marked cruiser at the home on Avon Gate. Deputy Chief George Labassiere says they tried unsuccessfully to get into the home. He says moments later, the 42-year-old man came outside with an edged weapon. That's when an officer shot him. A neighbor and police provided emergency first aid before paramedics arrived. The man was transported to Health Sciences Center where he was declared dead. The independent investigation unit was able to provide a few more details, including that the man who made the initial call indicated his brother had mental health issues and was not taking prescribed medication. The deputy chief was asked if they considered sending the force's specialized unit for people experiencing a mental health crisis, pairing a mental health clinician with a plainclothes officer.
I would say it's always considered, and certainly we look to see where calls that are put in for service would be appropriate to send that unit. In this case, they were not sent, and I think clearly we want to make sure that we recognize, and I think the media recognizes that the ARC unit is made up of an officer and a civilian member, so we never want to put our civilian members in positions that might present violence of any kind. So safe to say in this case they were not sent out to this call.
Police say the first officers on scene did not have body cameras, but one of the officers arriving after did. That video will be handed over to the IIU. Anyone with more information or video footage is asked to contact Manitoba's Independent Investigation Unit. A cyclist is in critical condition following a collision with a vehicle. It happened on Monday evening just after 6 p.m. at the intersection of Dufferin Avenue and Salter Street. The cyclist was taken to hospital and police say they are listed in critical condition. No other details are being shared. Police continue to investigate. We're learning more this morning about that deadly fire in Edmonton that left one man dead.
It just sounded like a large explosion. I lived right across the street and I didn't know what it was, so I came running outside, and within seconds you could see the fire. There was fires, there was people jumping from the balcony.
Edmonton police say an 85-year-old man died of his injuries after jumping from the balcony of his burning apartment. Police say 2 people who live in the building are still missing. The fire started after a car crashed into the building, hitting a gas line. Edmonton police say they are investigating the fire as a mass casualty event, with at least 6 people taken to hospital, including the driver of the car. The cause of the crash is under investigation, but it could be days before the structure is deemed safe to enter. Canada Post is offering free mail forwarding for people and businesses in Lynn Lake affected by wildfires. Impacted residents have until August 10th to sign up. Customers will need to register through the Canada Post website using a credit card or go to a post office with government-issued photo ID. Lynn Lake residents who purchased the service between June 28th and July 10th will be given a refund. The service will be free to affected customers for up to 12 months. As tensions mount over the Strait of Hormuz, gas prices are expected to take a big jump today across much of the country.
A serious energy crisis, and the prices, unfortunately, will start to reflect that.
The price of gas went up 5 to 10 cents a liter today, depending on where you live. Today's national average is about $1.68 a liter. The highest average price is in Vancouver at almost $2 a liter. The cheapest gas is in Edmonton at $1.65 a liter. Gas prices have been edging back up ever since the U.S. and Iran renewed hostilities. Brent crude is trading at $81 U.S. a barrel right now. At this time last year, it was at $66 U.S. a barrel. A new exhibit is roaring into action at the Canadian Fossil Discovery Centre.
From the total length, half of the length is only the neck. So it's very unusual.
It's dedicated to the Stichosaurus, an ocean-dwelling plesiosaur. The original Stichosaurus sample the exhibit is based around was discovered in Miami, Manitoba in 1983. It took the museum 8 months to 3D print approximately 400 pieces of bones.
But manually, everything has to be manually, sculpting and everything. And to have the ability to use all this technology through these softwares, most of them are assisted by artificial intelligence. So you have to have a very nice control, knowledge and judgment to be able to use that AI.
Meantime, if you've ever wanted to name a plesiosaur, now is your chance. The museum is holding a naming contest for museum visitors. A winner will be chosen on September the 1st and will receive a bag full of Stichosaurus-related goodies. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Alexander Avenue. The westbound curb lane will be closed from Isabel to Princess Street. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Pravashi Bridge will be closed for communications work. And the northbound curb and middle lanes on Century Street will be closed from Ellis to Wellington Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Looking like a gray day ahead in Winnipeg and through much of southern Manitoba. 22 degrees out there, overcast as mentioned. Winds pretty light out of the east-southeast. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 52%. Yes, we're sort of on storm watch today. We could deal with a good amount of rain throughout parts of the province, but it's that risk intensifies overnight for us here in Winnipeg. I'll have details on when and where this is expected to hit in a moment, but let's stay in the here and now. In fact, our current conditions, to be more specific. 19 degrees over in Morden and Winkler this hour. Same goes for Brandon and Dauphin. 21 in Gimli. Kenora in northwestern Ontario also kicking off the day at 21. Island Lake, you're still offline. 14 degrees for you. 15 in the Paw and Swan River. Oh, Lynn Lake, you're offline too. My apologies. I'll check on that in the break. 12 degrees in Churchill. So yes, we're still dealing with heat warnings, if you can believe it, in central parts of the province. Yes, temperatures there still expected to be sweltering today. Also, it's a different threshold there for triggering those heat warnings than what we've seen here in the south. So look for that heat to continue today, as do the air quality advisories in effect for in and around the Pas, as those wildfires prompting those smoky skies likely to basically intensify today. In terms of our temperatures here in Winnipeg, we're going to start off at about 20 degrees, and we have that light risk of rain throughout the day, but it does intensify into the later afternoon, getting up to a high today of 25. Winds staying pretty light, as you can see. However, that chance of rainfall really intensifies overnight, maybe add some instability, some thunderstorms. Temperatures not budging a lot to 19 degrees. Winds staying pretty light, a slight variation to them as well. And then into tomorrow, it looks to be a stormy one. 24 degrees, rain, thunderstorms expected. The good news is we're looking like we're brightening up in time for the weekend. This guy's had enough of the heat. I don't blame him. Thanks for Alani for taking his very relatable photo, and keep those pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Good morning. Energy and infrastructure top of mind for the Assembly of First Nations meeting in Ottawa. They insist the Carney government's commitment to fast-tracking major projects could threaten their rights. CTV's Rachel Aiello explains.
Projects built with Indigenous partners.
That was Prime Minister Mark Carney this time last summer, vowing full Indigenous consultation and participation would be key to getting major projects built. But since then, few have advanced, and so the government is preparing further legislation to speed up approvals, and that is sparking fresh concerns for First Nations.
The federal government can try and set up all the timelines that they want for project approvals, but they can't put a deadline on First Nations rights.
First Nations representatives are gathered in Ottawa this week for the AFN annual general meeting, and Carney's plans to expedite impact assessments for energy and infrastructure projects has taken center stage.
There's a serious risk that the expedition and deregulation of major projects will lead to violations of FPIC and Indigenous laws.
We're not going to allow anything to happen without us being involved directly.
Those CTV News spoke with said they still feel they don't have a seat at the table or are lacking the information needed to offer informed consent for new project proposals.
We see Prime Minister Carney all over the country and all over the world talking about our lands and our resources, but yet we have not seen them on the ground to engage us in any sort of fashion.
Do the right thing. Do it honestly. We'll move a faster ahead, right?
First Nations leadership will also be discussing child welfare, housing, and calls for the Vatican to rescind a series of papal decrees. They will also hear from a slate of federal cabinet ministers. Mark Carney is not scheduled to speak, though he will be convening a meeting of First Nations chiefs in October. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
It's time to see our sports team moment now. Today's pictures from the U7 hockey team, Manitoba Shooting Stars. Tyler shared winning the Manitoba Cup in May with a great group of kids and parents from across Manitoba. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for sharing with us. You can also participate with your most memorable team moment and be entered to win a $100 Chicken Chef gift card. Head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your picture. Good luck.
Your Manitoba Sports Team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
A young soccer player is sharing the story of his once-in-a-lifetime experience at the FIFA World Cup.
Felt very nervous and thrilled at the same time.
8-year-old Enoch McCleary was one of the children that got to walk out with the players before the Argentina versus Algeria match in the group stage. But he didn't walk out with just any player. He walked out with Lionel Messi. Amazingly, this isn't the first Messi moment for his family either. His brother took a selfie with the star 2 years ago before an MLS game. All right, here's a look outside right now. You can see the sky is really cloudy at this point. So it looks pretty dark out there, but overall things are moving well on the streets. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Start to the day, and that's going to be the theme throughout southern Manitoba today. Different story to the north, quite jealous. 22 currently, that humidex minorly in effect. Overcast as mentioned, winds out of the east-southeast at 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 52%. We're tracking this low pressure system. You can see very pronounced currently over the southwest corner. Rain already falling in Brandon and Neepawa. Wrapped into that, you can see good amount of instability, lightning, thunderstorms potentially as well. While the north sitting pretty under those clear sunny skies. Although that's not true. Let's take that back, because although our radar doesn't show it, we do have those wildfires ongoing. So areas in and around the northwest, the Paw, Flin Flon specifically, still have ongoing smoke warnings. They also have heat warnings through this slice here of central Manitoba, as the threshold's a little bit different for you, because while we dropped ours yesterday, you've been hanging on. And with that, even though temperatures there likely always cooler than we are seeing here in the south, today you're actually going to be sticking with some really hot temperatures, extreme heat even, one might say. Not the case for us. We're getting up to a high of 25 degrees. 26 is what's seasonal. It was so sweltering over the weekend. I think many of us were looking for a breather. Today and tomorrow it's giving just that, thanks to some cold air that moved in Tuesday. Winds staying pretty light out of the east. 30% chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms. Likely not, though. But that risk intensifies overnight. 19 degrees. Temperatures not budging much. Winds staying pretty light. And then tomorrow, likely a rainy day as well. 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms, stronger southeasterly winds, and a cooler high of 24. We're rebounding nicely into the weekend, though. Look at that, 29 on Friday, getting even hotter and sunnier into Saturday.
A man from Portage la Prairie was killed Tuesday morning when the vehicle he was driving collided with a train. Mounties say it happened on Road 40 West, just west of Portage, around 8 o'clock. The force says the vehicle was a Manitoba Sheriff's van, and the force of the crash caused it to roll and land in a ditch. The 28-year-old driver died at the scene. His passenger suffered minor injuries and was taken to hospital as a precaution. RCMP, along with CN Police and Manitoba Workplace Health and Safety, are investigating. The speed limit has come down on Wellington Crescent. The city says crews began installing signage at the beginning of the month after council approved lowering the speed limit from 50 to 40 kilometers an hour between Academy Road and River Avenue. A spokesperson notes the change also applies to small sections of River and Stradbrook, where one-way portions lead in and out of Wellington. This all comes after a cyclist was killed on Wellington in 2024, prompting calls for lower speed limits and dedicated bike lanes. With the heat wave continuing, air conditioners and fans are working overtime. But a number of Manitoba households will find themselves without power this week as Manitoba Hydro makes some repairs in their area.
There's never a good time to do it, but it's important that we get it done to avoid a much longer outage in the future.
At least 22 outages are planned for communities around Winnipeg and parts of Manitoba today through Sunday. Among them, one in the Victoria Beach area that will affect more than 6,400 customers. Manitoba Hydro says it will apply a permanent fix to the temporary repair of a pole damaged during a storm earlier this spring.
So now we have the crews and the equipment available to make that permanent repair, which is really important, because if that temporary repair fails, it could lead to an unplanned outage, a sudden outage for a much longer time. The
Victoria Beach repair is expected to take up to 8 hours. Manitoba Hydro says homeowners worried about their food can put bags of ice in the fridge and freezer to keep things cool. The Bank of Canada is set to deliver its 5th interest rate decision of the year this morning. Economists widely expect the central bank will remain on hold, keeping its policy rate at 2.25%. Inflation has jumped above 3% in recent months as higher oil prices from the Iran war sent gasoline costs skyrocketing over the spring. Officials at the Bank of Canada have made clear they're willing to look beyond the initial price shock from the war, but are prepared to act if there are signs inflation is spreading beyond the gas pumps. The bank will also publish new forecasts this morning showing how the Iran war and other forces shaping the economy are affecting its outlook for growth and inflation. Recent data on growth and the labor market suggests the economy is rebounding modestly from a weak first quarter. E-commerce giant Etsy, which has more than 100 million people who buy and sell on its online marketplace, is banning the sale of animal fur products next month, sparking outcry from Indigenous artists who say their tradition and livelihood are at risk. CTV's Tyler Fleming on how the dispute is escalating to Ottawa.
For Shauna Fontaine, traditions can be worn.
For Indigenous artists, this is our way of storytelling.
The Manitoba artisan owns owns Anishinaabe Girl Designs and is in Ottawa for the Assembly of First Nations, selling her handmade crafts, some that are made with fur.
This is made from skunk. I use ermine, I use weasel, I use mink, I also use some fox. I'm using the very bare minimum of materials in what I'm using to try to be as sustainable and as ethical as possible in my artistry. But I think as Indigenous nations, Indigenous peoples have always done that.
But starting August 11th, the e-commerce platform Etsy, known for selling handcrafted items, will ban the sale of products containing fur from animals, saying the move is part of its sustainability efforts.
That's going to have an impact to Indigenous peoples globally and to a way of life and sustainability and economic sovereignty.
Part of a sustainable harvest is near and dear to our traditions and our values as Indigenous people, something we've practiced since time immemorial.
Now, Chief Jenny Brake of Halibu First Nation wants the Assembly of First Nations to take a stand and is introducing a resolution at the Assembly urging Etsy to reverse the policy.
If Etsy is really true to honoring craft and arts, then they will listen.
The Fur Institute of Canada says platform bans like this add unnecessary barriers which can have deep impacts on rural and remote Indigenous communities.
Fur that's harvested in Canada is harvested humanely.
Fontaine hopes the resolution leads to change, but says she'll keep creating opportunities for other Indigenous artists.
To ensure that Indigenous peoples can continue their way of life.
CTV News reached out to Etsy but did not receive a response. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
All right, let's take a look outside right now on McPhillip Street. Things are moving well over here. Looks like a smooth drive so far this morning. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.63. It's an increase compared to yesterday's amount. And the lowest price in the city is $1.54. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Ainsley is live in LaSalle this morning picking some beautiful sweet berries. We're going to find out more about the season so far.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
I might have been a bit premature with this umbrella, but there are stray raindrops falling out here as we look towards a very cloudy day and a cooler one at that. Although this morning it's starting off on a decent note, 22 degrees. Winds are light out of the east-southeast at 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 52%. So yes, we are tracking this low pressure system likely to bring rain and thunderstorm activity to parts of southern Manitoba. Today it already ramped up in Brandon. That's kind of the area in the crosshairs of the system most notably. So you have the strongest chance of that rain and maybe thunderstorms lasting throughout the day. Lesser chance for it here in the Red River Valley and Dauphin. We could see it sprinkle like this here or there, or we could just stay dry after this, but the risk intensifies overnight. First off, though, we have a day of more cooler temperatures, if you will, below seasonal for a change, 25 in Winnipeg, similar values all throughout southern Manitoba with light winds. Different story to northern Manitoba, sunny, smoky in the northwest from those wildfires, temperatures very hot in the upper 20s to low 30s. Ainsley McPhail is getting a taste of berry picking season over in LaSalle. Ainsley, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, people are getting ready already. 7 a.m. We're at Cormier's Berry Patch. Darren Cormier is joining us. And when did it exactly start this year? Because I know that it's just such a short window for Manitobans.
Yeah, every year is very different. This year we actually started picking on the 29th of June, which everyone asks, is that normal or not? It kind of is. It's usually end of June, start of July. We had kind of some warm weather that came on right at the end of June and brought everything on. So we started picking about the 29th, and the season will normally last. People usually pick for about 3 weeks or so, depending on where you are and what kind of varieties of strawberries you have. But so we're a solid 2 weeks in and hoping to wrap up here in the next week or so.
I'll preface by saying, not an agricultural expert, but it's been very rainy and it's been very hot. What does it look like? Are they looking good?
Yeah, so it's been it's been a good crop year in general. It depends on the field, but yeah, it was very soggy and very wet to start. You can kind of see we had some pallets out in the field here to help people get across because the ditch was all full of water kind of early on at the start of the year, and now we've gone to some very extreme heat. And it's
that's what I'm saying.
The other end of things, right? Yeah. So no, it's been a good year so far. But yeah.
And people come out here in droves, like hundreds and hundreds of people wait in line. Before they come, what do you want them to know?
Okay, well, it's always good whenever you're coming to a farm, things change. So the weather can change, you can get run over with people, and your field can get picked out. So always call and check right before you come. Doing so 2 days before, and then assuming that is still the correct information, things change way quicker than that. So always call right before you come. Bring water, bring sunscreen. Bring a hat if you're not used to being outdoors, especially in the last kind of week where it's been really warm. People are excited to get outside, and then sometimes they're not used to being outside. So really preparing yourself for the weather and the elements, depending on what it's going to be.
How dare you? You forgot to say bug spray.
Oh.
I think it's hitting close to home right now, though. Okay, you guys, we've got more after the break.
Here's a look now at the early markets. The Dow Jones is flat. The Nasdaq is 130 points up. The S&P index had small gains. The Canadian dollar is set to 71.13 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 340 points, and the Nikkei climbed 1,008 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Now to a devastating blow to a First Nations community in the Interlake. RCMP say a 20-unit residential building in Peguis First Nation went up in flames Saturday morning. Mounties say officers entered the main floor, making sure everyone got out. They later confirmed residents had already safely evacuated. There were no reported injuries. Photos provided by RCMP show the building was largely destroyed. The investigation is ongoing, but at this time it's believed the fire was accidental. Earlier Tuesday morning, a body was found behind a leisure center in the Chalmers neighborhood. Police say officers were called to the scene just before 8 o'clock for a report of a medical incident. That's where they found a person deceased. Police tape could be seen surrounding a wooded area in between the East End Culture and Leisure Center and Bowman Avenue, next to what appeared to be an encampment. Police were unable to provide any further details, including any information about the deceased or the circumstances surrounding their death. A judge has dismissed a multi-million-dollar cocaine importation case because of charter violations at a Windsor border crossing.
Courts cannot condone these types of egregious charter violations.
This centers around truck driver Harinder Saini. He was facing serious drug importation charges after authorities alleged he had $13 million in cocaine hidden in his trailer. He was first detained because he had $10,000 in undeclared Canadian cash on him, found during a search in 2023. The Windsor judge determined Saini's charter rights were violated in 7 different ways, including when he was subjected to a fully naked strip search without a good reason and without approval. The court also found his rights to a lawyer and right to not incriminate himself were also breached. People forced out by wildfires in northwestern Ontario faced a dangerous journey to safety. This video shows a train being surrounded by fire near the community of Collins, north of Thunder Bay. People on board managed to get to safety, but they had to leave the train behind. We're also seeing satellite photos showing smoke from the fire drifting across the region. Ontario Forest Fire officials say they're dealing with 160 active fires in the province. U.S. President Donald Trump has made another threat as the battle for control of the Strait of Hormuz continues.
We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
President Trump said they will continue to strike Iran this week. And if there's still no deal next week, he says the U.S. will begin targeting Iran's bridges and power plants. This comes after Donald Trump reversed a threat of a 20% fee on all cargo shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, but reinstated a blockade at Iranian ports. President Trump said the 20% toll would be replaced by massive trade and investment deals with Gulf states, which he did not provide any more detail about. There will be no more turning back the clock if the U.S. House of Representatives gets its way. The House passed a bill Tuesday that would make daylight time permanent. The proposed law now goes to the Senate for a vote. Proponents argue the bill would provide more daylight during the times that Americans are most active. Daylight time is that period between spring and fall when clocks in most of Canada and the U.S. are set 1 hour ahead of standard time. Spain is headed to the FIFA World Cup finals after an impressive win over France.
Mikel Oyarzabal
Mikel Oyarzabal scored on a penalty in the first half, and Pedro Porro put them up by 2 with a goal in the second. Spain will face the winner of today's semifinal between England and defending champion Argentina. That game goes this afternoon at 2 Central Time. This is Spain's first World Cup final since they won the tournament in 2010. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Alexander Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Isabel to Princess Street. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Provencher Bridge will be closed for communications work, and the northbound curb and middle lanes on Century Street will be closed from Ellis to Wellington Avenue.
Slightly damp out there as we kick off our Wednesday under cloudy skies with 22 degrees. Yeah, a spare raindrop or two was being felt by me on the rooftop, but it wasn't anything like a downpour. Winds are light out of the east-southeast. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 52%. Yeah, we're kind of playing chicken with this low pressure system that you can see pretty glaring behind me. It's really concentrating its powers over the southwest. So Brandon, Neepawa, you're already seeing some raindrops today. Look for that to continue, and you can see plenty of instability wrapped in there. Thunderstorm lightning possible. And for the rest of us in the Red River Valley, while we're seeing some raindrops here, Environment and Climate Change Canada says the rest of us only have about a 30% chance of that system today, but more so overnight. Meanwhile, heat warnings persist in this slice of central Manitoba, as does air quality warnings in the northwest, where those wildfires continue to cause issues. My apologies, this has since lifted. There was a severe thunderstorm warning in effect just a moment ago, but it's clearly been lifted since I programmed my graphic there. Looking over to the northeast, where temperatures still very hot, Island Lake smoky. The rest will be decently clear. Highs above seasonal at 29 in Thompson, 25 in Gillam, 17 in Churchill. Northwestern Manitoba also smoky, particularly in and around Opaskwayak, Gradation, the Pond, Flin Flon. Lynn Lake, a mix of sun and cloud. Norway House, maybe a little bit rainy. The rest of you, very hot highs in the upper 20s to low 30s. That's kind of the hot spot of the province. Brandon, Neepawa likely to deal with the rain all throughout the day. Dauphin, Swan River, a slighter chance, but a chance nonetheless. Temperatures taking a major dive in Brandon and Neepawa today at 22, a little bit warmer in Dauphin. Temperatures below seasonal throughout the Red River Valley for the most part, Winnipeg included, 25 degrees. 30% chance of rain is mentioned throughout the region. Light winds. Northwestern Ontario still pretty hot and decently sunny, particularly in Red Lake, a little bit cloudier in Kenora. Overnight tonight, we're more likely to get that rain and thunderstorm activity at about a 60% chance. Temperatures not losing a lot of heat, 19 degrees under light winds. And then tomorrow we have a 60% chance of more rain, more thunderstorms, and those temperatures falling even more.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, happy Wednesday and happy hot dog day, Rochelle. Two very quick questions, not to create any controversy, but here we go. Okay. Ketchup or no on a hot dog?
Yes.
Ketchup or no?
Yes, but ketchup with mustard, for sure.
Okay. All right. And the other one, of course, the big one, is it a sandwich or not?
No, I wouldn't say so. That's my opinion.
I'm
what do
with
you think?
you.
2 pieces of bread and meat in the middle, Bo.
That's not a sandwich.
2 pieces of bread and meat in the middle.
Happy hot dog day.
Well, you can never have too many hot dogs in my world. You can also have never have too many sweatpants, rather. Because I was telling Bo, I'm trying to trim the budget and buy less sweatpants. I have them for all occasions. I've got cute sweatpants. I've got ugly sweatpants. I've got root sweatpants. And I have so many pairs. It's insane. I've been told to buy fewer sweatpants in my house. But our question to you is there anything you buy too many of?
Well, I think I've said this to you before. Books. I buy way too many books. I can't walk into a bookstore. I can't be at a Value Village or an outlet store without looking for books. It's ridiculous. I have stacks of them all over the place. I'm officially not allowed to buy any more books. And then another guilty pleasure of mine are shoes. I have a lot of shoes. Too many, but I love them.
She's been cut off.
You know, maybe we should start a book exchange club, Rochelle, because I love to read. I've got lots of books. That would be the way to go.
Yeah.
For me, I've got a thing about jeans. I've got way too many, and yet every time I go shopping, I look around at the jeans. If there's a good deal and they're the right length, I can't help myself. I've got a closet full of jeans, and who's got time to wear them all? But hey, what the heck, eh?
Yeah. You have a great collection. I'm looking down at what he's wearing now. You're wearing shorts. You also have a lot of shorts. You have great clothing. I'm just saying. You're a well-dressed man.
I have to be dressed for TV, Gabby. Anyway,
all right,
Michelle, have a wonderful day.
You too. Enjoy your hot dogs today, guys. One final hometown fly pass for Canada's snowbirds in Saskatchewan before the iconic fleet of Tudor jets heads west to be grounded. CTV's Alison Bamford on the historic goodbye.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Tyler Spicer.
This might be the last time I'll see it, first and last.
And after watching the Canadian snowbirds fly over Saskatoon for the first time, the 16-year-old was almost speechless.
I don't know much words to describe how neat it is to be here today.
Hundreds lined the tarmac to catch what could be their final glimpse of the iconic Tudor jets.
Oh man, like that screams Canadian.
The quick flyover captivated crowds before a landing that allowed spectators to see the jets up close.
Thanks for coming to see us, guys.
And meet the pilots in person.
And I actually get to shake their hands this time, which is really cool.
It's going to suck not having an aerobatic team for the next couple of years.
In May, Ottawa announced the snowbirds will be temporarily grounded after the 2026 season until the fleet of aging Tudor jets is replaced with a new aircraft, making today's stop that much more memorable.
It was something I saw growing up, and it was really important that we brought our kids out to see it too.
It was just amazing. The experience was great, everything. It's so sad that honestly the government's shutting them down.
A sentiment echoed across the ages. Spectators here signing postcards addressed to the Prime Minister as part of a campaign to keep the snowbirds flying.
We're just trying to get the Government of Canada and the Minister of National Defence to reconsider their decision.
This was just a fuel stop for the snowbirds on their way to Alberta for more scheduled events. No more events are slated for their home province here in Saskatchewan.
Just sad to see it go.
And for many, this is the final wave goodbye to a national symbol. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
I got to fly in one of those. Pretty cool experience indeed. Here's a look at Taché Avenue. Things are moving well in this part of the city. It's really cloudy out there. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Today, roads buckle. How extreme heat is causing Manitoba roads to crack, heave, and buckle under pressure across the province. Plus, WestJet talks how a strike vote could affect WestJet passengers as flight attendants push for better pay and working conditions. And soccer scores. Winnipeg is kicking into the big leagues with its first ever professional women's soccer team. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Manitoba at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we did hear about the professional soccer league that is coming here to Winnipeg.
So exciting.
It's very huge, and we're going to get some reaction and a little bit more details at about 7:52 on what it'll mean for our city as well as what it took to bring this here. We're going to get all of those details. But let's talk about the weather. It's really dark outside right now.
It's looking pretty gloomy, and in certain areas of the city, a little bit damp because, yeah, there were a couple stray raindrops out there when I was on the rooftop about 15 minutes ago. But yeah, you can see not a lot of sunshine, and that's going to be the case through the day. Temperatures keeping up though, 22 degrees, a pretty warm start to the day. Winds light out of the east-southeast at 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 52%. So the reason for that gloominess, for those raindrops, pretty evident on our radar. This mammoth low pressure system that's really likely to hover over the Brandon area today and then turn its attention to us here in the Red River Valley tonight. But with it, you can see a lot of instability, convective activity wrapped in the form of rainfall, thunderstorms, maybe some lightning. While the north is sitting pretty decently in the sunshine. Of course, those smoke advisories still ongoing, particularly in and around the Paw, Flin Flon, Opaskwayak Cree Nation. It's going to be another smoky day ahead. Also, your heat alerts remain in effect, heat warnings, in fact, as temperatures in that neck of the woods not getting that blast of cold air that we got, so it's still dealing with highs in the upper 20s to low 30s tonight, particularly in the northwest. So our futurecast gives us a sense of how this system will likely track across southern Manitoba. So you can see it's mainly initially pointed in the southwest direction today, and then it kind of loses a bit of steam as it pushes further into the east. But we still have a chance, 30% by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast of us in the Red River Valley and areas in Dauphin, the Parkland rather, of getting some rain and thunderstorms. But as the evening progresses, it looks to stop. But then look at that, it pops up again, more instability. So we have a stronger likelihood of rain and thunderstorms overnight in Winnipeg. We did get a cold front push in yesterday, and we're finally starting to feel the fruits of that in the form of a below seasonal high of 25 in Winnipeg. 26 is typical. Another cool one tomorrow under a strong chance of rain, and then we heat up in time for the weekend. Your weather art of the day, Saria drew this, just 5 years old. Actually, there are many artists on this one. Apologies, we'll have to get those names later. But yes, just an incredible shot. Thanks for sending that in. And if you have any weather art of the day that your child drew, visit our website, please, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you need to fill out the form because your art can not only be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, it will also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
The extreme heat this week is causing several streets and highways to buckle or blow up in the shape of a triangle. The city says emergency maintenance crews are scrambling to keep up. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel.
Roads in Manitoba are buckling under the pressure.
It's crazy, like seriously crazy. It's crazy.
I don't know, I guess our roads aren't built for this kind of heat.
On Monday, this section of Silver Avenue near Century heaved up like a triangle amid the current heat wave. Crews spent Tuesday fixing the problem. Sidewalks around the city are also impacted.
It's been increasing as we're seeing more and more prolonged heat periods in the summer.
And maybe the most dramatic incident, this transit bus in Waverly West got hung up on a speed hump that buckled. Crews had to rip out a large section of the traffic calming device as they made repairs. The city says emergency maintenance crews could not keep up Monday with the demand from heat-buckled roadways and sidewalks, and they continue to respond. They say the south end of the city seems to have been hit the hardest.
It's a pretty simple repair. It's just a very sudden and unsafe condition.
Outside of the city is not immune. The province says several highways experienced concrete buckling and blowups, including the number 1, 75, 59 South, 7, 8, 30, and the West Perimeter, which was closed for a time Monday morning because of heaving.
With no rain and with excessive heat, day and night are a major contributing factor.
Ahmed Shalabi, a professor of civil engineering, says the concrete slabs and roadways have joints, which allow them to expand and contract depending on the temperature. But he says sometimes the joints are filled with sand or other debris, so when they try to expand again in the heat, there is no place to go but up.
Maybe becoming slightly more frequent with kind of excessive temperatures. We are getting excessive heat. So we're concerned about the future, really.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Nearly half a dozen communities set heat records again Monday. Gretna and Emerson saw highs of 35.1 degrees, each breaking records set in 1980, according to Environment and Climate Change Canada. Gimli wasn't far behind, setting a new July 13th record of 33.8. That record stood since 1964. And Oak Point and Shoal Lake each set records at 31.7 degrees. One of Manitoba's medical officers of health, Dr. Peter Benoit, says it's crucial during intense heat such as this to know if you're at higher risk.
Older adults, infants and young children, people with chronic illnesses, breathing difficulties, heart problems, people who work outside or exercise outside, right? They're going to be more exposed to the heat, or people who might not have shelter, right? People who might be experiencing homelessness and things like that.
Next, Dr. Benoit says to keep an eye out for symptoms of heat exhaustion. This includes feeling faint or dizzy, having nausea or an upset stomach, a rapid heartbeat or muscle cramps. Things become much more serious when heat stroke begins to set in.
And that would be, if someone is actually kind of confused or altered level of consciousness, they might lose consciousness. They might feel really, really hot, dry skin. They're not sweating anymore, might have a throbbing headache. So that's an emergency. We want you to get that person to a cool space, call emergency services. But if you're more in the heat exhaustion spectrum, that's the signal to drink some water, get out of the heat, get a break, right, before it progresses.
Heat stroke is a medical emergency, and as Dr. Benoit says, you should call 911. More positive news from Manitoba's second largest city. Officials in Brandon say high water levels on the Assiniboine River have started to decline. The city says the river retreated by about 8 centimeters overnight from Monday into Tuesday, but still has a ways to go. Levels climbed just over 2 meters in less than a week and peaked Sunday night. The city says its reinforced flood barriers are working to limit any damage. Dozens of WestJet flight attendants in Winnipeg took part in a day of action Tuesday as members vote on a possible strike. Around a third of the flight attendants that make up the Winnipeg base lined up outside the Winnipeg Richardson International Airport. The airline's 4,400 flight attendants could walk off the job or be locked out as early as August 2nd. Talks between their union and WestJet have been ongoing for more than 10 months. The biggest sticking points in negotiations is pay.
I think a lot of people don't understand that, we are required to show up an hour before the flight leaves. We're doing security checks, we're doing pre-flight briefings, we're doing catering checks.
And the union says that work before the cabin door closes averages 35 unpaid hours every month. Members are voting on a strike mandate today and tomorrow. Talks continue between WestJet and the union now through Friday. Walls in one of Oslo's former industrial districts have become giant canvases for street artists. Colorful murals are taken over in the Norwegian capital. This is for the Meeting of Styles event, where every year street artists take part in showing off their wide range of styles and backgrounds. 40 artists from 21 countries are participating, and fittingly, one mural pays tribute to the Norwegian inventor of the spray can. It's beautiful. Here's a look at what's happening now in the Norwood Bridge. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, but overall, we haven't heard of any issues out there. If you do see something, please let us know.
The Canadian Real Estate Association has downgraded its forecast for home sales activity in 2026 again, despite a small uptick in the number of homes that changed hands in June. CREA is now expecting a total of 463,336 residential properties to be sold throughout the year, a 1.4% decline from 2025, marking a reversal from its April forecast of a 1% gain. The federal government has gone from a C student to top of the class in its work to advance internal trade between provinces, says the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. In the Federation's latest annual report card on internal trade, the federal government jumped to an A+ from the C it got in 2025. IBM had its biggest sell-off in nearly 6 decades after the company reported preliminary second quarter sales that fell short of expectations, attributing the miss to customers shifting their spending to chips and servers amid AI-fueled shortages. The shares plunged 25% to $217.07, the biggest single-day loss since at least January 3rd, 1968. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go now to Ainsley, who's live this morning in LaSalle at Gourmet's Berry Patch. And people are working away, picking up those berries already. Good morning.
Man, with the fluctuating temperatures, all the rain, all the heat that we've had this season, still, it's raining right now. People are out picking as early as 7 a.m. We are in LaSalle at Gourmet's Berry Patch, having conversations with the Prairie Fruit Growers Association. And we're going to talk to different growers throughout the morning. So coming up at 7:27, we're having a chat with a raspberry farm. And they're usually more delayed than the strawberries, but this year in particular have been even more delayed. So we're going to learn exactly when you're able to pick those. We're also going to be having a chat with a Hascap farmer. What is a Hascap, do you ask? I'm not exactly sure. I haven't tried it yet, but if you make jam or pie, I'll be happy to eat it.
Yeah? Those berries look beautiful. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Ainsley said it's raining in LaSalle. Is it not raining on the rooftop yet?
There's a couple of stray drops here or there. I was wondering if I maybe should have brought an umbrella out. I had one for my last rooftop hit. But yes, we're seeing kind of an errant raindrop here or there, but currently it's pretty cloudy out here. 21 degrees with that humidex, slightly feeling warmer than that. Wind's pretty light and variable. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 61%. So yes, a low pressure system is pushing into southern Manitoba this morning, already concentrating its focus, if you will, on Brandon, Nipawin, Dauphin. There you have some light rain falling this morning. Look for that to intensify throughout the day. Maybe wrap in some convective activity as well. For us here in Winnipeg, we're getting the raindrops now, so it's tough to say if it's going to be a rainy day. Environment and Climate Change Canada says about a 30% chance of that coming to us. Could be just kind of a smattering here or there. Temperatures below seasonal at last. 25 in Winnipeg. Excuse me, 26 is what's typical. Similar values expected all throughout the Red River Valley, even a bit cooler in and around Brandon. Different story to the north, where it's hot and smoky in certain areas. Northwestern Ontario, the Pas, Flin Flon, Opaskwayak Cree Nation, smoke advisories continue for you. The rest of the region, hot and sunny, highs in the upper 20s to low 30s.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Thank you, Catherine. It's time now for a question of the day. We want to know, how should the Winnipeg women's soccer team look like? Tell us, how do you think it should be? What do you think the name should be? The logo, the mascot, the jerseys? Give us your ideas. We'd love to see them and share them with the rest of the city. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets. Furry, feathered, or scaly, your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. All right, here's a look outside now. You can see it's cloudy, and in some parts of the city, it's raining a little bit as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Good morning. A cyclist is in critical condition following a collision with a vehicle. It happened on Monday evening just after 6 p.m. at the intersection of Dufferin Avenue and Salter Street. The cyclist was taken to hospital, and police say they are listed in critical condition. No other details are being shared. Police continue to investigate. Canada Post is offering free mail forwarding for people and businesses in Lynn Lake affected by wildfires. Impacted residents have until August 10th to sign up. Customers will need to register through the Canada Post website using a credit card or go to a post office with government-issued photo ID. Lynn Lake residents who purchased the service between June 28th and July 10th will be given a refund. The service will be free to affected customers for up to 12 months. Winnipeg soccer fans are getting a pro team to cheer for. The Northern Super League is announcing its 7th franchise will call our city home. The club's name and crest have not yet been officially announced, but we do know the team will be gearing up for game day in 2027. 2 Winnipeg soccer stars are behind the league's first expansion. One of them is Olympic gold medalist and former Team Canada star Desiree Scott. She's being named as Vice President of Community and Player Experience.
Bringing a professional team to Winnipeg, as I mentioned, has been a lifelong dream of mine. It's honestly surreal to stand here today and finally bring this opportunity to the city that deserves it. We finally have a pathway from grassroots soccer all the way to the professional game. Young athletes across Manitoba can dream big because they can finally see what's possible right here at home.
The other co-founder, Rob Gale, will be the club's chief sporting officer. He's a youth national team coach and most recently was the head coach of the Portland Thorns. Earlier this summer, Mayor Scott Gillingham told reporters the franchise was eyeing Ralph Cantafio Soccer Complex on Waverly Street as its home venue. However, the club says its venue will be announced at a later date. A rare twin lotus has been spotted at Beijing's Old Summer Palace. It has 2 full flower buds growing from a single stem. Twin lotuses can't be artificially cultivated or replicated, and in traditional culture, they're seen as an auspicious sign symbolizing unity, harmony, and good fortune. All right, here's a look outside now on Portage Avenue. Things are still quite light at this stage in the drive. If you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A summer staple is pirouetting back into Assiniboine Park. The Royal Winnipeg Ballet returns to the Lyric Theatre for Ballet in the Park July 28th to the 30th. You can experience the dancers' technical mastery while also getting a sneak peek at the first season to be fully programmed by Artistic Director Christopher Stowell. The event is free and no tickets are required. However, you might want to bring a lawn chair, blanket, or your dancing shoes. A pre-show program begins at 6 o'clock with the main performance happening at 7. Madonna is now being celebrated with a second comic book. It's called Female Force, Madonna the Sequel. The story will center around her various personas, covering her transformations over the course of the last decade. This is the second book from Tidal Wave Comics and comes ahead of her 68th birthday on August 16th. The internet's favorite polka dot wearing band is starting a run of shows in Ontario. Quebec's Angine de Poitrine opens tonight for Jack White in Toronto. They'll also be headlining 3 shows at the Mod Club. The band will also play Ottawa Blues Fest on Friday, where they have been moved to the main stage. The duo just played the Winnipeg Folk Festival this past weekend. Your primetime lineup today starts with MasterChef at 7. Following is the Rainmaker at 8, and the Rebuild inside the Montreal Canadiens is on at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
It is pretty overcast and a little bit damp to kick off your Wednesday. 21 degrees out there, cloudy and light winds. Barometric pressures on the rise. Humidity this hour sitting at 61%. We are keeping an eye on this incoming low pressure system, likely to spread some rain and thunderstorms to parts of southern Manitoba today. We're also been dealing with some cooler temperatures, although this morning's temperature is still staying on par. Well, we'll lag into the afternoon, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. 19 degrees in Morden and Winkler, very similar to what we started off the day at yesterday. 18 in Brandon, 19 in Dauphin. Over in northwestern Ontario, 20 degrees in Kenora. Island Lake and Lynn Lake, apologies, your weather reporting system's still offline. I did look up. Island Lake is at 18, Lynn Lake is at 18. Apologies, Island Lake at 16. Similar temperatures all throughout this region, with the exception of Churchill, which is a bit cooler, as to be expected at 11 degrees. Heat warnings continue throughout this slice of central Manitoba, as do air quality advisories for the Paw, Flin Flon, Pasquia Cree Nation. There we go. Likely your temperatures today will be upwards of high 20s, low 30s potentially, and look for that heat to continue as well. For us here in Winnipeg, not quite as hot. We had a cold front move in, bringing with it some below seasonal values. 25 is our high. You can see we have this low chance of rain throughout the day. We've already had a couple of stray raindrops or two, but those winds also remaining light. That possibility to get a taste of this system really intensifies overnight. 60% chance by Environment and Climate Change Canada standards. 19 degrees though, not losing a lot of heat, and those winds staying light. We continue with the cooler snap tomorrow, Thursday, 24 degrees, a stronger chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout, and then tapering off by Friday with lots of sunshine and lots of heat on the way for the weekend. This guy had had enough of the heat over earlier when that extreme heat was really impacting Winnipeg and southern Manitoba. Thanks for Alani for snapping him, because he is a for sure mood for all of us. Thanks for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
July 15th, 1870. Manitoba was admitted to Confederation as Canada's 5th province. It was on this day that the Manitoba Act took effect. Manitoba began as Confederation's smallest province, which, because of its size and shape, earned it the nickname the Postage Stamp Province. July 15th, 1997. 50-year-old Italian fashion designer Gianni Versace was gunned down outside his Miami Beach home. The body of his assailant, serial killer Andrew Cunanan, was found 8 days later. The search for Cunanan following the murder of Versace was one of the largest and most widely publicized in the history of the FBI. July 15th, 2013, Loblaw Companies Limited announced a friendly deal to buy Shoppers Drug Mart Corp. for $12.4 billion in cash and stock, combining Canada's largest grocery and pharmacy chains. The deal closed in March 2014. Shoppers retained its name, branding, and associate owner model. A skeleton of one of the largest T-Rexes ever found sold at auction, and it went for a gargantuan price. This is now the most expensive fossil sold at auction. Nicknamed Gus, it fetched the equivalent of more than $70 million Canadian at Sotheby's in New York. The 11.5-meter long Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton is about 67 million years old and was discovered in South Dakota in 2021. The auction house says it is one of the most complex T-Rex fossils ever found, and it reportedly shows bite marks and evidence of fractures that the dinosaur survived. The winning bid was placed over the phone by an anonymous buyer. Today's England-Argentina semifinal renews one of the most historic rivalries in all of football. People in Buenos Aires are confident they can come out ahead of the Three Lions once again. The two sides have played several high-stakes World Cup matchups through history, with England beating them en route to winning the World Cup in 1966. Argentina returned the favor in 1986 when they won in Mexico. They've also met in both 1998 and 2002, with each side winning one of those matches. That game starts this afternoon at 2 Central Time. It's on CTV, TSN, and Crave. Get ready to feel the beat and live the culture. This year marks 55 years of Folklorama, and you have a chance to win a pair of tour visas to visit any and all pavilions you want to discover from August 2nd to the 15th. Plus, 2 lucky winners will also win seats on our CTV Mystery Folklorama bus to enjoy even more food and entertainment. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword world. Good luck. All right, Ainsley is live this morning in LaSalle, where they're picking berries. We're going to find out more about the season and some other fruit you will find as well. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live in LaSalle this morning at the berry farm there. We were talking about strawberries. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about raspberries. Good morning.
Hello, and yes, these ones are absolutely stunning. Heather Workington is joining us now, and she's going to share about her raspberry spot and where we're at right now in the season. These are gorgeous. How long did it take to muster those up?
Well, we're really slow this year. We're behind, so it did take a little bit, but we're hoping to open by the weekend.
Okay. And raspberries are typically grown coming up after the strawberries, correct?
Right. Yeah. As the strawberry season winds down, raspberry season is starting to take off. So we are, I guess, somewhat on track, but we are a little bit slow from this spring.
Mm-hmm. And that would be because of the rain, I would guess?
It was a really cold, wet spring, and yeah, the rains we've had and storms have delayed everything a little bit.
Mm-hmm. How many people do you have coming out to pick? Because, I mean, I don't need exact numbers, but this is an extremely popular thing here in Manitoba.
Berry season is, it feels like a Manitoba tradition. It's fantastic. How many people? Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. We're really busy. Saturdays are crazy. Mm-hmm. The field is full. We have 2 acres of berries, and it just feels like there's quite a few people.
Because there's that waiting period of people going, oh, when you get that all the time on your Facebook, I'm sure. Yes. When is this happening? Yes. You're encouraging people to keep their eyes peeled for that because you just don't know. You're just monitoring the fields.
Yes, correct. We always post on our website homepage and our Instagram stories, and other berry growers are doing the same thing. So if you can also follow PFGA, Prairie Fruit Growers Association. You can go on their website and they'll show you every farm that's open and where they are. So that's a fantastic resource for Manitobans that want to pick.
Mm-hmm. What do you find people are doing with the raspberries? And two-pronged question, what makes the perfect raspberry, in your opinion, in your professional opinion?
Okay, the perfect raspberry. Oh my gosh, I love to pick a raspberry on a hot, sunny day. A warm raspberry in the field tastes the best. So the perfect raspberry is literally midday on a hot day. And then what are people doing? Honestly, the majority of our pickers are eating fresh. They're taking their berries home, and I think they're gone in a night on ice cream or something.
That's amazing. I love that you said it's your favorite when it's hot and dry, because it's raining and chilly right now, and we're just standing in the raspberry.
Well, they look beautiful.
That's good.
Thanks, Ainsley. My kids used to put a raspberry on each one of their fingers. Just
the creepy fingers.
Yeah, I love that so much. Anyway, it looks beautiful out there, but a little bit of rain.
Yeah, as Ainsley mentioned, it's a little bit cooler to start us off. And yeah, and depending on where you're at, you could be feeling some raindrops. It's 21 degrees. That humidex barely in effect. Overcast, that cloudy gray. Winds are light. Barometric pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 61%. So yes, the reason for those raindrops, for the gray skies, this low pressure system here, you can see already really hovering over southwestern Manitoba, Brandon, Dauphin, Neepawa, light rain to kick you off, and look for some instability to potentially begin later on this afternoon. You can see those little thunderstorm icons. Meanwhile, heat advisories continue in the central portion of our province, as do those air quality warnings for in and around the Pas, Flin Flon, Pasquia Cree Nation. Because of those wildfires, of course, still smoke likely to persist in the next coming days. For us here, 25 degrees, a shift from those very hot temperatures. A cold air mass has moved in, bringing these probably welcome below seasonal values. We do have that slight chance of rain off and on throughout the day, so it's not out of the question that raindrops could come here or there. Nothing substantial likely. Winds out of the east at 15 kilometers per hour. But that threat really increases overnight. We have a good chance of getting that rainfall and thunderstorm activity throughout the evening. 19 degrees with light northeasterly winds. And then tomorrow, that system's not going anywhere. Rainy thunderstorms potentially into the afternoon. Once again, a below seasonal high of 24 degrees with southeasterly winds. Looks like we're rebounding in time for the weekend, though. 29 degrees on Friday under the sunshine, and we're getting even hotter into the weekend. And yes, that sunshine likely to persist.
Manitoba's police watchdog is being called in after Winnipeg police fatally shot a man in Linden Woods. Police say the shooting happened around 10:30 p.m. Monday, but the initial call for help actually came in about 2 hours earlier.
The caller reported that he'd been locked out of his residence by his brother, who was behaving erratically and threatening to damage property. At approximately 9:58 p.m., a little more than an hour later, the caller contacted police a second time, advising that he remained locked out of the residence and that his brother was now screaming at him through a window.
About an hour after that second call, police say 2 officers arrived in a marked cruiser at the home on Avon Gate. Deputy Chief George Labossiere says they tried unsuccessfully to get into the home. He says moments later, the 42-year-old man came outside with an edged weapon. That's when an officer shot him. A neighbor and police provided emergency first aid before paramedics arrived. The man was transported to a health sciences center where he was declared dead. The independent investigation unit was able to provide a few more details, including that the man who made the initial call indicated his brother had mental health issues and was not taking prescribed medication. The deputy chief was asked if they considered sending the force's specialized unit for people experiencing a mental health crisis, pairing a mental health clinician with a plainclothes officer.
I would say it's always considered, and certainly we look to see where calls that are put in for service would be appropriate to send that unit. In this case, they were not sent, and I think clearly we want to make sure that we recognize, and I think the media recognizes that the ARC unit is made up of an officer and a civilian member, so we never want to put our civilian members in positions that might present violence of any kind. So safe to say in this case they were not sent out to this call.
Police say the first officers on scene did not have body cameras, but one of the officers arriving after did. That video will be handed over to the IIU. Anyone with more information or video footage is asked to contact Manitoba's Independent Investigation Unit. The Winnipeg Police Service is requesting the public's assistance in locating a missing 26-year-old male. Richard Vodka was last seen on Monday at 1 p.m. in the 400 block of Lansdowne Avenue in North Winnipeg and is believed to have attended St. Vital Park. Vodka is described as 5 feet 7 inches tall, heavy build, with blonde hair and green eyes. Vodka was last seen wearing a blue t-shirt, gray shorts, a backpack, and a fanny pack. The Winnipeg Police Service is concerned for Richard Vanka's well-being and is asking anyone with any information regarding his whereabouts to contact the Manitoba Integrated Missing Persons Coordination Center at 204-986-6250 or Crime Stoppers. People forced out by wildfires in northwestern Ontario faced a dangerous journey to safety.
You overtake us here.
This video shows a train being surrounded by fire near the community of Collins, north of Thunder Bay. People on board managed to get to safety, but they had to leave the train behind. We're also seeing satellite photos showing smoke from the fire drifting across the region. Ontario forest fire officials say they're dealing with 160 active fires in the province. The speed limit has come down on Wellington Crescent. The city says crews began installing signage at the beginning of the month after council approved lowering the speed limit from 50 to 40 kilometers an hour between Academy Road and River Avenue. A spokesperson notes the change also applies to small sections of River and Stradbrook, where one-way portions lead in and out of Wellington. This all comes after a cyclist was killed on Wellington in 2024, prompting calls for lower speed limits and dedicated bike lanes. A high school cross-country running team has completed one big run.
It's really special. You know, it's a good moment of seeing the people there who supported you through the ups and downs of like running and also just life in general. They
finished their annual Shore to Shore relay from Lake Michigan all the way to Lake Huron. It's part of their preparation for the upcoming season. The run is about 370 kilometers long, and they ran it from Friday morning into Saturday. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Alexander Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Isabel to Princess Street. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Provencher Bridge will be closed for communications work, and the northbound curb and middle lanes on Century Street will be closed from Ellis to Wellington Avenue. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.63. And that is an increase compared to yesterday's amount, and the lowest price in the city is $1.54. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Here's a look outside right now. It's cloudy and 21 degrees. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Cloudy to kick off your Wednesday. It's just 21 degrees out there, overcast with light winds. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 61%. So yes, overcast, maybe a bit rainy for us today. We've already had a little bit of moisture out there, but you can see the bulk of this system here, this low pressure system that's bringing that moisture, is really hovering over the southwest in and around the Brandon area. However, heat warnings in other parts of the province do persist. While they've been lifted for us in the south, this central portion of our province still under that, as well as some air quality warnings in and around the Paw area due to those ongoing wildfires and all that smoke that's still really compromising air quality. Apologies, this should not be here. There was a severe weather or thunderstorm alert earlier this morning that has since lifted. To the rest of the province, though, I mentioned the smoke likely impacting Island Lake. The rest of you, a mix of sun and cloud, very hot highs in Thompson of 29 degrees, 25 in Gillam, 17 in Churchill. To the northwest, where really the bulk of that smoke, is concentrating, and also a lot of heat, not helpful for the wildfire fight, but above seasonal values, and you can understand why those heat warnings are continuing. Temperatures peaking in the upper 20s to low 30s. This is the area likely to be impacted by that system today. It's already raining lightly in Brandon, Neepawa, and Dauphin. Swan River, though, likely to stay dry and overcast. Below seasonal values at last for Brandon and Neepawa at 22 degrees, a bit warmer in Dauphin and Swan River. For us here, all of the Red River Valley has about a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the day. We could just get moisture in little fits and starts, but for the most part, cloudy, overcast, temperatures at or just below seasonal for much of us. And then northwestern Ontario, a good amount of sunshine in Dryden and Fort Frances, a little bit cloudier in Kenora. Overnight tonight, though, we see the risk of rain, thunderstorms really picking up, likely to hit us overnight and into tomorrow as temperatures continue to be a bit sluggish at 24.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's live in LaSalle this morning. We're talking about the berries that you'd pick at this time of year. Good morning, Ainsley.
One of those is Hascaps. Have you heard of them before? Well, we're going to fill you in if you haven't, and we're going to even show you. And jam, We love jam. The Livingstons are joining us now. Tell us a little bit about Hascaps.
Well, we started our Hascap field in 2017. We planted our first crop, and they're a cultivar that's coming out of the University of Saskatchewan. They have a huge fruit program there, and they've been cultivating Hascap here in the province for, I believe, over 20 years now.
Oh, wow. And what makes the prairies the ultimate spot to be growing them?
Well, first of all, they are a cold weather berry, so Canada, and Manitoba in particular, is the perfect place for this fruit. We need to have a cold winter to be able, for this berry to be able to produce what it needs to do. Also, this spring we had the cool, wet weather, and that is perfect for this berry. It doesn't like the heat, and it does like the moisture. So this has been great for us.
Well, good thing we've been standing in the rain, and it's been a really hot summer so far. Doug, what does it taste like? What would you, for your palate, anyways?
I'm a little biased here, but everybody says it's like a blueberry and a raspberry. I kind of think it's like a black currant berry. I'm biased, but I love them. This is our sweetest variety. This is Aurora. We have Tundra cultivars and Borealis, but I like this one the best. It's the sweetest, and this is what we mostly open up for a U-pick. And everybody seems to be, and they're loaded with antioxidants and vitamins. So we're quite proud of the Hascap berries, and people are starting to do the research on it and finding out the health benefits.
What are some great ways to eat them? Because you've definitely sold me. I've already shouted out the jam, but are we talking pies, cobblers?
Cobblers mostly. I always thought that we couldn't make pies with them, but we had a neighbor who brought us over the most amazing pie. So obviously you can make pies with them too. They make great jam.
From the pride of Starbuck, Manitoba, shout out to that individual for a great pie. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. In Alberta, they're right in the middle of tornado season, and so far it has been a very active one. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
The ferocity of a tornado is something to behold, a thrill Jason Whiting wanted to experience in person over the weekend.
Tornadoes are such a phenomenon. You don't see them very often. Never know what you might find. So I headed out and went up the road to see what I could find.
He found this tornado by Tullabee Lake on Saturday and captured the whirling moment.
Seeing it from that perspective was kind of pretty unique and really lucky to see that.
As we get deeper into the summer, we're also right in the middle of tornado season in Alberta.
The season is June, July, August for the most part in the prairies, with a peak in July. So tornadoes are kind of a regular occurrence.
The Northern Tornado Project says we're seeing more activity than usual. Alberta has seen 24 tornadoes so far this year, blowing away the totals for the last 7 years.
We're only halfway through the season, and in Alberta, we'll probably see more tornadoes.
One of the biggest factors is the heavy rain we've been seeing since June.
The weather patterns seem to be stuck in place, and we keep getting the storms developing again and again over various parts of the prairies. And some of these are really high-end storm environments.
It's been just astonishing to see those weather patterns set up over and over again.
Environment Canada says that's giving the right ingredients for the perfect storm.
You need lots of moisture, heat. You need some lifting mechanism, so some cold front or a trough coming through. You also need some changing winds with height. Tornadoes can be dangerous, no matter the size.
Even the weakest tornadoes can, if you just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, can be deadly.
If you find yourself at risk of a tornado, it's advised to find stable, solid cover, like a basement, to stay safe. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
You don't see this often on Vancouver Island. A long-beaked common dolphin was spotted near Esperanza Inlet. The sighting left researchers surprised, since this type of dolphin is rarely seen north of California. Since this video surfaced, the Marine Education and Research Society says it has been alerted to more sightings around Vancouver Island. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Have a great 10th birthday, Ava. Love Mom, Dad, and Emily. Happy birthday, Nicholas, and have a great year with love from your whole family. Happy 7th birthday, Dax. Lots of love from Grandma Judy and Uncle Jeff. And happy birthday, Jennifer, from family and friends who wish you a wonderful day and say 39 again, eh? And congratulations, Ruth and Stuart, on your 65th wedding anniversary from family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
The rain is starting to pick up out here alongside some decent temperatures. We're getting up to a high of 25 today, slightly below seasonal, well off what that record was back in 1930 at 34.4. Of course, it wasn't a far cry, those temperatures, from what we saw over the weekend, but at last we're getting a breather from that extreme heat, and we're getting cooled off by this rain. It's just started intensifying over the last few minutes since I've been out here. 21 degrees currently, overcast, and yes, a little bit rainy, very light winds coming. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 61%. So the system that is sprinkling all this moisture over us is actually bearing down mostly on southwestern Manitoba currently. Brandon and Dauphin, you're likely to feel the strongest effects of it throughout the day. Rainfall, thunderstorm activity could be included in that as well. Excuse me. Temperatures in that neck of the woods expected to be below seasonal, in and around 22 degrees in Brandon. Slightly warmer for us here in Winnipeg at 25. Again, we could be kind of having these showers start and stop throughout the day, nothing substantial, but the activity is really expected to pick up overnight with a sure shot of rain and thunderstorms. Northern Manitoba, sunny and smoky in certain parts, particularly in and around the Paw as those wildfires continue, but very hot and sunny, not what you want to see with those wildfire starts. Temperatures continuing to climb to the high 20s or low 30s today.
Thank you, Catherine. Women's professional soccer is coming to Winnipeg. The Northern Super League says it is expanding to Winnipeg starting next year. The club's name, crest, and home venue will be announced later. 2 Winnipeg soccer stars are behind the league's first expansion. One of them is Olympic gold medalist and former Team Canada star Desiree Scott. She's being named as Vice President of Community and Player Experience. The other co-founder, Rob Gale, will be the club's Chief Sporting Officer. He's a youth national team coach and most recently was the head coach of the Portland Thorns. And joining us now are both Desiree Scott and Rob Gale. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
How exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very excited.
This is something you've been working on for a long time. So how does it feel having this finally here?
It's amazing. I mean, we've chatted about it 2 years ago when the league came in its inaugural season, and to be here announcing it, that it's finally coming to our home market, it's incredible.
What does it mean to Winnipeg to have this here?
I think it's so important because this is the first ever professional women's sports franchise, let alone soccer team. So that representation, the opportunity for young boys and girls to see top-level female athletes in our city, it's going to be huge.
And just thinking about the impact on the sport itself, what does that mean to young girls who, you know, maybe never thought that they could do this on a professional level? What does it mean?
Well, I think of myself when I was growing up and all the young girls and the future generations of people who didn't know what was possible for them. And now they can come week in and week out, see what's available, see top-level soccer right in our backyard, and hopefully that sparks a fire and a will inside to go and dream big and maybe play pro one day.
You know, we're a winter town. We have so many months of winter. Why is Winnipeg a good soccer city?
For many reasons, I think, like diversity, you think about what a great mix we are and our differences make us rather than divide us. And I think a lot of people, newcomers, come from countries where soccer is the first sport, and it gives them a sense of community. It brings them together, and the season fortunately runs April through October, so weather permitting we should get some pretty good months in there, but I think we're a perfect city for the NSL.
It's so exciting. Okay, so let's talk about, we know that we don't know the venue quite yet. We don't know the team name quite yet. We don't know what the crest will look like. What do we know about what the team will look like at this point?
I think what we want to bring is that it represents Winnipeg, it represents our province well. We're going to be a team that's gritty, that's hardworking, that is something that's going to put an exciting product out on the pitch. And you've got two people who are super passionate. We want it to be a top-level experience for not only the fans, but the players who come here. So stay tuned for all the announcements that are coming soon.
And part of those announcements, the public can take part in it. They can actually be part of the final decisions here. Tell us a little bit about that.
The best part is we want this to be fully inclusive of the community, so we've got a guess a team name. You can draw a mascot for the young kids out there who want to take part and be a part of this from day one. So WPGNSL.ca, all the information that we can reveal is out there now.
Okay.
But we want everybody to be involved in this as we build it from scratch.
Economically, what could this bring to our city?
Man, hopefully, you know, more jobs. We're not only creating opportunities for athletes on the pitch, but we're creating opportunities in the front office and marketing and community and all of those things. So just a major infrastructure bringing women's sport here.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what people can do right now to prep for it. We know that there are girls maybe, you know, part of university teams right now. What is the team going to look like? Where are you going to recruit those players from?
The beauty of this league is it's already a top 5 women's professional sports soccer league. So the infrastructure is there, the support. So for players, we can go worldwide. We're going to aim to bring some of Desi's former teammates, Canadian internationals. Wow. We can go worldwide. Any player that's out there right now playing in the university, in youth sports in Canada, NCAA, in like Desi, she had to go away to play. Yep. Anyone who's abroad and playing, but calls Winnipeg home, we're going to be knocking on their door and trying to bring them home.
So if you're watching this and you think this is something for you, now's the time to get ready, because when will you start recruiting?
We're already on the clock.
Oh, there we go.
We're getting things rolling. So start training, show us your interest. We'll be rolling out when open tryouts are happening and all of those things as well.
Okay, well, congratulations to both of you. It's so exciting for our city and, of course, to the sport itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And before we head to the MLB All-Star Game, Andy Pages with a grounder up the middle. Ernie Clement with the backhand leaping throw to get him at first. A great play from the American League's leading vote-getter for your must-see moment. Today on TSN, we have the second semifinal from the FIFA World Cup with England taking on Argentina. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Wednesday, July 15th. Something has to give, especially when pavement and high daytime temperatures collide. What Winnipeg crews are up against in their battle against the bulge. Questioning the fast-tracking process, what First Nations say is at stake if they're left out of formal pre-project consultations. And it's time for a change. Back to an era when the time actually didn't change for the seasons at all. Why that throwback could be closer to reality. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we know that the honeybees are in trouble. They deal with a lot. So there's, of course, pests that are killing them. There's climate change affecting their day lives. And so we're going to find out a little bit more about some of the research coming out of the University of Manitoba on what's happening to the honeybee and what we could do to protect them. So we're going to find out more about that. But not many bees out in the rain right now, probably.
No, you can understand with these extreme changes why these environments aren't that hospitable to our honeybees, because yes, bees, I cannot keep track because we are very hot and sunny in the weekend, dangerously so, and now we're coming back down to reality and we're targeting some rain in our skies. You can see it already starting to fall. It's gray, it's overcast, 21 degrees, winds very light, barely registering, pressure's on the rise, humidity sitting at 61%. So yes, a major shift. We had a cold front move in yesterday, that's bringing those temperatures down, and also contributing to that change is this low pressure system really concentrating its powers, if you will, over the southwest. Brandon, Nipawin, Dauphin already dealing with light rain. We've seen a little bit of that sprinkling here in Winnipeg and the surrounding Red River Valley. Likely, though, we're going to feel its full force overnight. Meanwhile, heat warnings are persisting in the central portion of the province. Ours were lifted yesterday, but temperatures stay much warmer in that neck of the woods today. Unfortunately, those air quality warnings also still in effect in and around the Paw due to that wildfire smoke. From our Futurecast, we get a better sense of how the system will play out. It kind of fakes us out. So it starts off very strong to kick us off through the day, but you can see as the day progresses, it seems to taper off. Still the back end really concentrating over the southwest. That's why our risk of that precipitation is so much lower. And then from there, it almost disappears completely, except for this little glimmer. And then it rears its head again overnight. That's when we're likely to feel that rain and thunderstorm activity really pick up in the Red River Valley with lots of clouds. Temperatures also dipping down into Thursday. Friday, though, we start off with the clouds, and then we start to see our temperatures rebound. I can't keep up. 25 today with that chance of rain, 24 with a stronger chance of precipitation, and then Friday, sunshine again and that heat rebounding. Your weather art of the day, this was a team effort. Saria, Rufa, and Tasneem made this. Thank you so much for sending that in. And if you've got any weather pictures to share, please do head on over to our website to submit your child's weather art of the day, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you're going to fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, but it is also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
The extreme heat this week is causing several streets and highways to buckle or blow up in the shape of a triangle. A City of Winnipeg spokesperson says the city doesn't typically track calls for buckled roads, but confirms emergency maintenance crews have been scrambling to keep up.
Well, it's really difficult to predict where on a roadway it will happen because it depends on many conditions like traffic and what's going on underneath and the condition of the concrete to begin with, and whether there's curves in the road.
A portion of the perimeter highway was shut down for the same reason. Officials say concrete buckling has occurred on at least 7 highways. Provincial officials say highways are cut in intervals, which gives concrete room to expand. But they say sometimes the joints are filled with sand or other debris, so when they try to expand again in the heat, there's no place to go but up. Canada Post is offering free mail forwarding for people and businesses in Lynn Lake affected by wildfires. Impacted residents have until August 10th to sign up. Customers will need to register through the Canada Post website using a credit card or go to a post office with government-issued photo ID. Lynn Lake residents who purchased the service between June 28th and July 10th will be given a refund. The service will be free to affected customers for up to 12 months. First Nations leaders at this week's AFN General Assembly say the federal government's commitment to fast-tracking major projects could threaten their rights.
Prime Minister Carney all over the country and all over the world talking about our lands and our resources, but yet we have not seen them on the ground to engage us in any sort of fashion.
The AFN General meeting is happening this week in Ottawa. Ottawa's plan to fast-track major projects is a major topic. Despite promises made at last year's meeting to work with First Nations, many leaders are still wondering what that partnership looks like. National leadership will also discuss child welfare, housing, and calls for the Vatican to rescind a series of papal decrees. They'll also hear from a number of cabinet ministers, but not the Prime Minister. The UK is introducing a social media curfew for some teens. This proposed curfew runs from midnight to 6 a.m. for 16 and 17-year-olds. It's a voluntary measure, with teens able to opt out by changing the settings on their apps. No word yet on which apps the curfew will cover. The UK government is still planning a social media ban for teens younger than 16 years old. This voluntary curfew will come into effect by the spring. There will be no more turning back the clock if the U.S. House of Representatives gets its way. The House passed a bill Tuesday that would make daylight time permanent. The proposed law now goes to the Senate for a vote. Proponents argue the bill would provide more daylight during the times that Americans are most active. Daylight time is that period between spring and fall when clocks in most of Canada and the U.S. are set 1 hour ahead of standard time. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Pembina Highway. You can see things have really picked up in this part of the city. Overall, things are moving well, maybe a little slowly at this point.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Let's go now to Ainsley, who's live in LaSalle, talking about the berry season this year and what it's been like so far. Good morning.
Don't you hate when you find out that you like a new thing and you're going to have to buy a million of them? I tried Hascaps for the first time, and oh man, are they ever good? But now I realize I either have to drive to Starbucks. Okay, this is a different problem. Angie Cormier joins us now from Cormier's Berry Patch here in LaSalle. Beautiful finds here, but we're going to share with the audience what they should be doing post-pick.
Yes, absolutely. So really, one big important thing is whatever berry you've picked, raspberries, strawberries, Haskap, Saskatoons, you need to put them in the fridge as soon as you get home. Chances are you may have been picking them when they're warm. You need to get home, put them in the fridge. If you're not going to do anything with them till the next day, that's fine, but just put them in the fridge. The next thing is don't wash them. Wash them when you're going to eat them. So put them in the fridge. You can cover them with a piece of paper towel. And then if you're going to freeze them, then wash them. Put them on a cookie sheet. Put them in the freezer. That's an easy way to freeze them. So just a very easy ways on how to keep your berries so that you can enjoy the freshness of them. They don't last. They are a very perishable item.
Any other tips and tricks you have for people, even if it comes to picking? There's people who have been out here since just before 7 a.m.
Well, today, bring a rain jacket. But if you're going to go pick, water, a hat, because it's the summertime. And as you know, we've just been in a heat wave. So you want to bring things like that. Come prepared with bug spray. Sometimes there are bugs.
And you know what? I think they're only bad because Kenny and I are here. We're almost out of time. Tell us about the etiquette.
Most farms are going to give you a row, whether it's strawberries, raspberries, Saskatoon. So stay in that row. Don't go, unless you have been given the okay by the farm to go wander around, but stay in the area that you've been given. With strawberries, lots of people are hopping over rows, and when you're hopping over rows, you're stepping on berries.
Don't do that. Don't step on toes. All right, we've got more at 8:38.
Etiquette. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. A deadly shooting at a traffic stop in Maine involving immigration enforcement agents has resulted in a major change of approach. CTV's Joy Malbon looks at the deepening concern over ICE tactics in America.
After a wave of fatal shootings by ICE agents, the Trump administration is putting a halt on these dramatic vehicle stops. It's a major policy shift after this recent incident. This footage shows a white car driving in a circle. It's unclear if this was before or after shots were fired at a traffic stop in Biddeford, Maine. ICE agents say they were targeting someone for removal as they pull what appears to be a limp body from the car, handcuffing his hands, the windshield covered with bullet holes.
He put him on the ground, and I heard the young man say, "I tried to stop." Clearly heard him say that.
Turns out the man fatally shot was not the target. Johann Sebastian Guerrero was a 26-year-old Colombian man authorized to work in the U.S., according to officials.
ICE doesn't want to admit what a botched operation that this was a wrongly targeted person, but somebody who was just going to work, and their death was witnessed by a 3-year-old child.
From protests in Maine.
I don't know what he did, but he didn't deserve to be executed in the street.
To anger in Houston, Texas, where another family is in mourning. Lorenzo Zelgado Araujo shot and killed by ICE agents last week. He, too, was the wrong target, and in both cases, ICE agents were not wearing body cameras. Civil rights organizations have filed lawsuits against aggressive tactics by ICE, an agency under pressure to deliver President Trump's promise of mass deportations. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Casting our eye to the very cloudy sky, it's 20 degrees to kick us off and a little bit rainy as well. Some very, very light rainfall, maybe not even showing up in certain neighborhoods of Winnipeg. In downtown, we're certainly feeling it. Winds are ramping up slightly out of the southwest at 11 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 73%. So yes, this system that's really lingering over the south, you can really see it's rearing its head, most notably over Brandon, Neepawa. The rain has, for this moment, tapered off in Dauphin and is continuing to push into the Red River Valley. Portage la Prairie also starting to see the drops. Meanwhile, the heat warning still in effect in central portions of our province. This little yellow slice here. Temperatures there hotter than what we're going to see here in the south, in the upper 20s to low 30s. Meanwhile, those air quality advisories still in effect for in and around the Paw Flin Flon area, due to those wildfires. That smoke still very much present and not likely to push out of your skies in the near future. For us here in Winnipeg, cloudy, a 30% chance of those showers continuing throughout the day. We'll likely get these kind of stray little pop-ups of precipitation, but nothing substantial. 25 degrees with those light easterly winds. And then that system really pushes more into southern Manitoba, particularly into the Red River Valley. That's when the rain, the thunderstorms likely to ramp up more substantially for us. 19 degrees with those lighter northeasterly winds. Another day of rain expected tomorrow with another cooler below seasonal high of 24, stronger southeasterly winds. But things take a turn once again on Friday. We're heating up again, 29 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, clearing out and getting even hotter into the weekend. We're going to learn about the importance of the honeybee just ahead, so don't go anywhere.
The Canadian Real Estate Association has downgraded its forecast for home sales activity in 2026 again, despite a small uptick in the number of homes that changed hands in June. CREA is now expecting a total of 463,336 residential properties to be sold throughout the year, a 1.4% decline from 2025, marking a reversal from its April forecast of a 1% gain. The federal government has gone from a C student to top of the class in its work to advance internal trade between provinces, says the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. In the Federation's latest annual report card on internal trade, the federal government jumped to an A+ from the C it got in 2025. IBM had its biggest sell-off in nearly 6 decades after the company reported preliminary second quarter sales that fell short of expectations, attributing the miss to customers shifting their spending to chips and servers amid AI-fueled shortages. The shares plunged 25% to $217.07, the biggest single-day loss since at least January 3rd, 1968. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
This is the honeybee season. The tiny creatures are busy working away, pollinating our flowers, crops, and producing honey. But the bee is in trouble right now. They're facing devastating disease, insecticides, and wacky weather. And joining us now is U of M Assistant Professor in Apiculture, Nuria Morfin. Good morning, Nuria.
Hi, hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, honeybees are so important in our ecosystem. Tell us why.
Absolutely. So honeybees, which is a western bee, Apis mellifera, they are one of the most important managed pollinators. So in Canada, they are considered livestock, and they are extremely important because they pollinate, as you mentioned, a number of crops that are important to us. For example, ivory canola seed, sunflowers that are very important in Manitoba, but also berries, apples, pears, cucurbits, and the list goes on. So honeybees contribute to our food security, to our economy, and also to our gardens. So that is the main reason why these bees are so important to us.
Absolutely. Now, the bees are facing many stressors right now. Tell us what's happening with them.
Yes, so honeybees, like any organism, they have diseases and pests that can affect them. So there is one in particular that is called Varroa destructor, which is an ectoparasite. That means it's a tick that feeds on the bee's blood and fat body. And it creates a lot of issues, and it's the main cause of colony mortality. And on top of that, this parasite transmits viruses that can also affect the bees, and it weakens their immune system, which what happens is that the bees cannot defend themselves against many other diseases that they are susceptible to. On top of that, there's management practices, agriculture, agrochemicals that we use to produce our food, and all of that combined, it creates a lot of stress to bees and can affect them. On top of that, like you mentioned before, these heat waves and weather conditions are also a part of the issue.
So we want to protect them because we need them, right? So tell us about what the University of Manitoba honeybee team is doing to help.
Absolutely. So we are conducting different types of research. For example, partnering with other labs across Canada and North America to figure out different ways to control this mite through integrated pest management, new acaricides, new treatments. We have a very exciting project about a deformed wing virus bee vaccine. It's led by a master's student, Danica Strelaev. So we're working on ways to attack different aspects or understand different aspects and try to minimize them. Our lab is particularly interested in how all these stressors interact and affect the honeybees, and partnering also with the beekeeping associations in Manitoba and in Canada for trying to tackle all these issues.
And what do you want homeowners? If they could do something in their own backyards, what can they do?
Absolutely. So it's very interesting because we think about honeybees, which is the bee that I work with, but there are many other pollinators, and many of them are native to Manitoba and to North America. And there are many ways that we can work together to protect them. One of the easiest things is don't apply insecticides or agrochemicals if you don't need to. Go to more natural options. And also when you're buying seeds, make sure that they are not coated with insecticides and that the mix, it's not only for wildflowers, but that these mixes are for native plants to your region.
Okay.
So that's a very easy way to help protect them.
That sounds like a great list. Thank you so much, Nuria, for this.
Thank you so much.
So this umbrella, probably not that necessary because the raindrops have really started to taper off. But you never know when a spare shower is going to pop up here or there. It's 20 degrees currently in Winnipeg. Winds out of the southwest this hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 73%. Okay, I'm going to start in the north and work our way down because the north is in store for a very different day than what we're seeing here in southern Manitoba. So for example, lots of sunshine, lots of heat, highs in the upper 20s to low 30s, and in some areas, some smoke. Those wildfires persist in and around Lynn Lake. Excuse me, with the wind shifting, it's pushing that wildfire smoke in and around the pond, Flin Flon, maybe even into a Pasquia Cree Nation. So air quality advisories are still in effect. I mentioned it's going to be hot and sunny there, basically the opposite here in southern Manitoba. A low pressure system that we're starting to see the early signs of with these raindrops, spreading rain already in and around Brandon, and it's likely to stay concentrated on that section of the province today, while we'll deal with, to a lesser extent, maybe some rain here or there, but nothing substantial. Temperatures below seasonal at last for us here in Winnipeg, 25, cooler to the west, 22 expected in Brandon. And then overnight, the rain joins us here in Winnipeg and the Red River Valley. Look for rain and thunderstorms potentially to intensify and last into tomorrow. This guy was all of us during that extreme heat. Thanks to Alani for capturing that photo, because that's a sure mood. Thanks for sending that in, and keep your weather photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
New research is showing that thousands of kids growing up in Canada's child welfare system tend to not graduate from high school or complete post-secondary education. That lack of education may lead to bad health, bad economic outcomes, and a greater chance of incarceration. The research is being presented as a human rights issue at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights today. And joining us now is the researcher of the study, Jacqueline Cahagan. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now, you've been studying this since 2022. Tell us a little bit about the study and the results that you found.
So there are two parts of the study. The first was funded by Research Nova Scotia, and it was first voice interviews, and that was an opportunity for people to tell their stories, which was great. That led to a Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council grant, which we're just finishing up here in Winnipeg. And that actually was looking at what we heard in the first voice interviews. So it included a comparative analysis between Canada and other countries. More in-depth interviews, and we're doing a lot of knowledge mobilization. But what we did in between is a series of digital stories where we gave youth the opportunity to tell their stories, which was also very powerful.
Okay, and so how many youth are we talking about here on average, and you know, which sort of demographic do they represent?
So there are roughly 65,000 kids in care in Canada. The study that we undertook with SSHRC funding was in the 4 Atlantic provinces, and so the numbers are not great. I would say that probably the majority of kids in the Atlantic region mirrors what's happening nationally, which is less than 50% actually finish high school. And nationally, we look at less than 10% actually finish higher education, like post-secondary education, which is not great.
Why do you think that is?
So what we saw in our research is every time you get moved to a new school or a new neighborhood, new peer group, with that comes all kinds of other considerations that mean education is not the priority. You're getting moved, you're not necessarily focusing, excuse me, on education.
And so the constant movement sort of, it's always like starting anew, right?
It is starting anew, and the problem with that is we're not focusing on educational attainment. So if we're looking at this issue longitudinally, this data has not changed. We're not seeing an improvement in terms of educational completion, and that is a problem.
So no completion in education, no post-secondary. What does that lead to in the long term?
So long-term consequences include worse mental health, physical health, more likelihood to get involved with the criminal justice system, a whole cascade of effects.
And you're calling this a human rights issue?
It is absolutely a human rights issue. So Canada has signed on to a number of United Nations declarations, and we're failing kids in terms of education, for sure.
Okay, so what's the solution here then?
If it were that simple.
Yeah.
So part of it is today at our session at the Canadian Human Rights Museum, we're actually talking about findings from our study. We're talking about the Senate report that actually has actions in it. So does our work.
Yeah.
And then we also have another group talking about transitions to adulthood. We have evidence. We would like politicians and others from the federal level, provincial and territorial level to listen to what's in the Senate report, in our research findings and other data that's currently available. And that's another issue, is what's available is a bit of a patchwork. So we need to do better in terms of national data. We need to collect more comprehensive, comparable data from coast to coast so we really understand what's working, what's not, and why.
Okay, this will be at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights today at 4 o'clock. It's open to the public?
It is. Yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing this with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Here's a look outside right now on the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well this morning. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back.
Bit gloomy to kick off your Wednesday. 20 degrees, overcast skies, 1 or 2 raindrops falling. Winds are decent out of the southwest. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 73%. So yes, we're always going to kind of be looking over our shoulder today because you see this big looming system here. It's really bearing down over the southwest today, but we could be getting a little bit of fallout here or there, a stray raindrop or two, maybe prolonged periods, but it's not going to be terribly organized if we do get any of that activity. That does change overnight. Details on that in a moment. Meanwhile, heat warnings do persist all throughout this area in yellow, as do unfortunately those air quality advisories due to the ongoing wildfires. Seems to be particularly smoky in the Paw and Flin Flon, Opaskwayak Cree Nation, even as far east as Thompson. So look for those smoky skies to continue. Likely not a lot shifting in terms of our winds today to kind of loosen that up. I mentioned it getting quite smoky over even in Island Lake. The rest of the region, a mix of sun and cloud. Warm highs. I talked about the humidity in the upper 20s, a little bit cooler in Churchill, but still decent for you at 17 degrees. This area in the northwest, really the hot spot of the province, which is not ideal considering the wildfire activity. Highs in the low 30s or upper 20s with that smoke still persisting. Southwestern Manitoba, likely that rain and thunderstorm activity will continue through Brandon and Neepawa. Dauphin has seen some rainfall, but it's likely to stay decently dry. Same for us here in the Red River Valley. 25 degrees for us in Winnipeg, below seasonal at last. The northwest warmer and sunnier as well. Overnight, though, it's getting organized with that system. More rain, thunderstorms likely in Winnipeg overnight and hanging on into tomorrow as our temperatures stay sluggish at 24.
More positive news for Manitoba's second largest city. Officials in Brandon say high water levels on the Assiniboine River have started to decline. The city says the river retreated by about 8 centimeters overnight from Monday into Tuesday, but it still has a ways to go. Levels climbed just over 2 meters in less than a week and peaked Sunday night. The city says its reinforced flood barriers are working to limit any damage. People forced out by wildfires in northwestern Ontario faced a dangerous journey to safety.
Eventually overtake us here.
This video shows a train being surrounded by fire near the community of Collins, north of Thunder Bay. People on board managed to get to safety, but they had to leave the train behind. We're also seeing satellite photos showing smoke from the fire drifting across the region. Ontario forest fire officials say they're dealing with 160 active fires in the province. The Bank of Canada is set to deliver its 5th interest rate decision of the year this morning. Economists widely expect the central bank will remain on hold, keeping its policy rate at 2.25%. Inflation has jumped above 3% in recent months as higher oil prices from the Iran war sent gasoline costs skyrocketing over the spring. Officials at the Bank of Canada have made clear they're willing to look beyond the initial price shock from the war, but are prepared to act if there are signs inflation is spreading beyond the gas pumps. The bank will also publish new forecasts this morning showing how the Iran war and other forces shaping the economy are affecting its outlook for growth and inflation. Recent data on growth and the labor market suggests the economy is rebounding modestly from a weak first quarter. Turning now to a CTV News investigation into what happens when a police officer lies on the stand in court. As CTV's John Woodward reports, there may be troubling gaps in the system that is supposed to report dishonest officers.
This is surveillance video in a parkade in London, Ontario. That's a Toronto man on the ground getting arrested, and there, a police officer kicks him in the face, something a judge found the officer lied about in testimony.
It's surprising because it's an easy lie to catch if the officer is saying one thing, but the objective video evidence is showing another.
Dishonesty by police on the stand happens occasionally. A report by Western University earlier this year identified since 2015 11 cases where officers from the Toronto Police Service and Peel Regional Police lied or provided false testimony. In high-profile cases, police forces often take action directly, like in this case from 2015, where a judge found a Peel officer stole a Tony Montana statue from a storage locker during a search and lied about it. Not all cases make the news. Prosecutors have an obligation to flag an officer to their own police service if a trial crown becomes aware of credible and reliable information that an officer has been deliberately untruthful under oath. An FOI by CTV News shows that's happened 28 times in the last decade. But those cases identified in the Western report weren't on the list, a sign that there are gaps in the system, says NDP MPP Jenny Stevens.
That an overwhelming majority of police officers serve with integrity. So I want to be very clear, you know, honesty in the justice system is a non-negotiable.
A spokesperson for Ontario's Attorney General said our list may not capture some types of cases, but stressed it is fundamental to the administration of justice that police officers' statements made under oath are truthful. When confronted with the dishonesty at court over this incident in London, the judge's reaction was to toss the charges. John Woodward, CTV News.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now on Osborne Street. Things are pretty smooth over here. We have no traffic issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.63. It's an increase compared to yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.54. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know, how should the Winnipeg women's soccer team look like? Marlene thinks Sharpshooters is a cool name for the soccer team. Blenda's idea for soccer team is Winnipeg Wonder. And Kelly says, I love the different city uniforms in baseball right now. Dark colors with brighter neon contrasting. They're so vibrant, and other uniforms are washed out beside them. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Let's go now to Ainsley, who's live at the berry patch this morning. That's where people are already picking berries this morning. Hi.
Yeah, we're live, and how many others? My goodness, it's crazy to see how many people have come out this early to pick some fresh Manitoba berries. We are at Cormier's Berry Patch in LaSalle. Angie joining us once again. Does it surprise you how many folks are out?
I was a little bit surprised to see how many people were going to come with the light rain, but it's not plus 40. So I think they're happy to come when it's cooler out.
That's a difference maker. And how many stalls of people do you really see during that short window?
We see lots of people. This is such a short window that I think, and people know that, so everybody's excited for fresh berries.
No doubt. And I've been having my share this morning for our props out here. But there's so many berries to really look at. It's not just strawberries, and the Prairie Fruit Growers Association would like to highlight that.
Yes, absolutely. So strawberries and the Haskap berries are just kind of coming to the end of their fresh picking season. And then we're going to get into raspberries, Saskatoons. They're going to be ready here in the next day, the weekend possibly. And then sour cherries will be coming along shortly after that. So everything will probably be done by the end of July.
Oh, that's so quick. How could I forget about sour cherries too? When it comes to, because I know that there's busy hands here, they're going to be gone. So how do you know when to come back and when it's going to be full again?
Whatever farm you're going to, always check their website or whatever social media they're on. And if you're looking for a certain type of berry, but you don't know where the farms are, the Prairie Fruit Growers Association has a website, and they have an interactive map that shows all of the farms with the berries. So if you're looking for a certain type of berry, or if you're looking for something in close to your location, that map is there to help you get your berries.
And what a great day trip too on a weekend for families.
Yes, it's a great family outing. Nothing more fun than going and picking berries.
You know what? Maybe it's a great morning outing. There's some people, the wives had their husbands out here picking at 7 in the morning. And I don't think they regret it, because look how delicious they are.
Absolutely. And then you can always have them tomorrow as well. Thank you, Ainsley. Do you have a glorious garden? Here at Your Morning Winnipeg, we love to see how you are passionate about your yard work. It could be an annual, perennial, or vegetable. Tell us about your garden and enter the contest to win a $500 gift card from St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Plus, have the chance to show off your garden live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your photos. Good luck. All right, let's go out to the rooftop. You need your umbrella today.
I do, and it's kind of like you have to have it handy, because the rain could stop and then start again at any moment. It's this kind of smattering of rainfall that's going to be pretty consistent throughout the Red River Valley today. It's currently 20 degrees in Winnipeg. The southwesterly winds have tapered a little bit at 11 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 73%. So yes, the reason for these raindrops, the low pressure system that's really having most of its focus on the southwest. More intensified rain and maybe some thunderstorms are expected in and around Brandon and Neepawa. The rest of the Parkland, Red River Valley has about a 30% chance. So likely it'll be these little smatterings of rainfall, fits and starts of precipitation, but nothing substantial. That changes overnight, but not after a cooler day. 25 degrees for us here in Winnipeg, even cooler in Brandon at 22. A reminder, 26 is what's normal for us in Winnipeg. And then overnight, that system really starts to push further into the southwest, bringing us a stronger chance of rain and thunderstorms, more substantial throughout the day and lasting into tomorrow. Meanwhile, to the north, so much sunshine, so much heat, unfortunately, as those smoke advisories continue. Lots of sunshine with highs in the upper 20s or low 30s. I'm going to head inside and dry off, but stay with us. We've got so much more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
One final hometown fly past for Canada snowbirds in Saskatchewan before the iconic fleet of two-door jets heads west to be grounded. CTV's Alison Bamford on the historic goodbye.
once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Tyler Spicer.
This might be the last time I'll see it, first and last.
And after watching the Canadian snowbirds fly over Saskatoon for the first time, the 16-year-old was almost speechless.
I don't know much words to describe how neat it is to be here today.
Hundreds lined the tarmac to catch what could be their final glimpse of the iconic Tudor jets.
Oh man, like that screams Canadian.
The quick flyover captivated crowds before a landing that allowed spectators to see the jets up close.
Thanks for coming to see us, guys.
And meet the pilots in person.
And I actually get to shake their hands this time, which is really cool.
It's gonna suck not having an aerobatic team for the next couple of years.
In May, Ottawa announced the snowbirds will be temporarily grounded after the 2026 season until the fleet of aging Tudor jets is replaced with a new aircraft, making today's stop that much more memorable.
It was something I saw growing up, and it was really important that we brought our kids out to see it too.
It was just amazing. The experience was great, everything. It's so sad that honestly the government's shutting them down.
A sentiment echoed across the ages. Spectators here signing postcards addressed to the Prime Minister as part of a campaign to keep the snowbirds flying.
We're just trying to get the Government of Canada and the Minister of National Defence to reconsider their decision.
This was just a fuel stop for the snowbirds on their way to Alberta for more scheduled events. No more events are slated for their home province here in Saskatchewan.
Just sad to see it go.
And for many, this is the final wave goodbye to a national symbol. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Today is Arctic Sea Ice Day. Sea ice is vital to sustaining and maintaining many animal species living up north in the high Arctic. Polar bears use the sea ice to hunt, and the leftover meat from their killings helps to feed at least 20 other species living in the area. But our warming planet is shrinking the sea ice, and if it continues at this pace, researchers worry it could mean polar bears won't be able to hunt and eat, and that'll mean less food for the other species too. Joining us now to tell us more is Polar Bears International Research Fellow Louise Archer. Good morning, Louise.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, the sea ice in the Arctic is vital to so many animals, especially polar bears. Tell us about that and the role it plays.
Absolutely. So sea ice is this incredibly dynamic habitat. It's the frozen surface of the Arctic Ocean. So polar bears use it as a platform to hunt and to catch seals. But the entire food web actually depends on the sea ice, right from these tiny microorganisms that live in and under the ice, through to the fish, seals, and then the polar bears that move across the ice. But it's also incredibly important for our global climate as well. So the ice reflects back the sun's energy as it enters our atmosphere, helps keep us nice and cool. So we kind of think of it as being almost like the Earth's air conditioner. It's helping maintain a nice, stable global climate. So really, really important ecosystem, and one that is at risk as we see temperatures continue to warm.
Yeah, and as the planet continues to warm, that sea ice is melting. So how does that affect the animals using it, like the polar bear, when they hunt?
Yeah, so as the sea ice disappears, polar bears use the platform that they catch seals from above. So as the seal surfaces, the bears can grab the seal, drag it onto the ice, and consume it. As they lose access to this habitat, they have a harder time hunting, harder time taking enough calories to survive, to reproduce. And then, of course, for all the other species that depend on sea ice directly and also depend on the food that's left over by polar bears, they're losing out on this really, really important resource. So we know that without sea ice, we won't see polar bears into the future. And that has a big knock-on effect on all of the other species that live in the Arctic as well. Also impacting our global climate, kind of having this feedback loop, causing things to warm even faster. So it really, really has this important impact for polar bears, for other species, and for all of us across the globe as well.
Well, let's talk about the polar bear. When it does its hunting, it'll eat whatever it needs, and it'll leave the leftover carcass behind, and that's when all the other creatures come in, right?
Yeah, it's really fascinating. So polar bears, they're very efficient hunters. They'll catch a seal. This can be a really, really large animal, but they're going to focus on eating the blubber. So they'll eat, their diet is about 80% blubber. Once they've had their fill, they've had a big meal, they've filled their bellies, they'll literally leave all of that leftover material or biomass from the seal out on the ice, and then you get other scavengers that will come in and feed on the leftover of this kill. So you can have things like gulls, Arctic foxes, other polar bears that will come in and start to use this resource. So researchers have estimated that a single polar bear can provide up to 1,000 kilograms of biomass for all of the other species in the Arctic sea ice ecosystem in a year. So it's a really, really important role they play as a top predator in the system.
Well, on this day, what do you want people to do and reflect on?
So today we really want to highlight the importance of Arctic sea ice to polar bears, but also worldwide. So we're very excited with some events we're launching today, one of them being our new Svalbard polar bear tracker. So people can go online on our website, polarbearsinternational.org, and follow polar bears as they move across this dynamic sea ice habitat in the high Arctic. We're also launching our beluga cameras, or live cams, where people can see belugas as they migrate through Hudson Bay and learn a little bit more about how important sea ice is to them. And then we also have live chats with scientists throughout the day, speaking about sea ice, how it's changing, how important it is to all of these different species. So it would really highlight people to learn a little bit more today, have some conversations with friends and family about why this is important, think about how you can get involved. And we have lots of ideas for this in our Sea Ice Toolkit, which you can see on our website at polarbearsinternational.org.
And of course, we have a link on our website. Thank you, Louise, for this.
Thank you.
Not feeling like the Arctic out there, although it's far from the extreme heat we experienced over the weekend. It's 20 degrees and a little bit soggy. You can see a raindrop or two on our camera as some light rain continues. Winds are out of the southwest, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 73%. This is the low pressure system expected to spread rain and thunderstorms throughout the Red River Valley. Light today and then likely intensifying overnight. Meanwhile, heat warnings are persisting in the north alongside a good amount of air quality warnings for in and around the Paw due to that wildfire smoke. Not the case for us, cooler at 25 degrees. And tomorrow, as that system really bears down on us, we fall even further to 24. We're taking a break, but don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, when you're on vacation, you want to get the perfect video. When trying to be an influencer goes wrong, this woman's effortless exit from the ocean was rudely interrupted by a massive wave. She gets fully flattened as her supportive partner keeps the camera rolling. Sand in your mouth.
She like somersaulted fully, but that's honestly better than just a standard I'm hot video, so good for her.
Now, do you know the difference between a violin and a fiddle? It turns out the difference is an outfit change. This man starts off in a buttoned shirt playing the violin. He then strips off the shirt to reveal a tank top, puts on a ball cap, buttons up some overalls, and uses the exact same instrument to play a song on the fiddle.
Versatile instrument, who knew?
Indeed. Now, there is something very special about making memories with your teammates.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
This under-10 baseball team from Arizona decided to have a bleach party. The boys all bleached their hair blonde. They thought it would be a team bonding experience before they head to a tournament in California.
Their all eyes are watering. You know what we go through with that bleach.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.